Baba boom, into the room. This the tune, bada bang, bada boom. Ay, 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 ay. Baba boom, yeah, into the room. Yeah, this the tune, bada bang, bada boom.
Yeah, live my life on fast forward. Feet up on that dashboard, hands up off that steering wheel. Call this shit a crash course. I ain't had to take no class for it. Nickname used to be Fast Porsche. Why I gotta be so bad for? 100 times on that blackboard. Reminisce on my school days. Mama like LL Cool J's. Drunk off all them punches. He gon' need like 2 A's. Ayy, ayy. Wake him up in like 2 days. Tell him he can have his right back. But I really, really like my new chain.
The Breakfast Bowl, loaded with One Blunt Radio's unique blend of the truth, crossed with the right questions on KSOS DB Denver.
Every Monday, 8 a.m., hosted by Kush Don't Care 2016. That's Dr. D.B. Kush and Long Hair Don't Care. So pack your bowl and smoke with us. SOS, Smoking Son, the official SOS News. That's right, and we're live on OneBluntRadio.com, KSOS DB Denver. It's the Breakfast Bowl. Fill your bowl, roll your blunt, hot topics, hot news. Today, before we even get into it, I want to say Happy Veterans Day to everybody out there that served like myself. Shout out to 5th Group Special Forces Airborne. Oh, to all my dudes over there that served over there in my unit. One love. I just want to make sure I start the show off with that positivity. And happy birthday to my mama, because it is my mama's birthday. So happy birthday, mama, and happy Veterans Day. I get them both on one day. I get to party twice because I'm a veteran, and that's my mama. All right. So I have to make sure y'all know that. Starting this off now.
Everybody's in for a treat. We're both excited. It's kind of in two ways. On one hand, man, I'm excited that we're going to rip into two people. Both sides of the party. Both sides of the
I'm not ripping
argument.
into anyone. I'm just calling out what the page says. I'm not ripping into anyone. Why would I? Because that makes me them.
No, you know what I mean.
Yeah, but it just sounds like that.
Okay.
And it puts us in their position.
Right.
And that's what I'm fighting against is what they're doing.
Right, but
It's a black eye.
we've been drawn into it. We're
not drawn into it.
Yes,
we're not
we
drawn
were.
into it. No, we're not.
By
No,
the
we're
fact,
not.
well, hold on.
We're not drawn into it. I totally disagree. We're not drawn into
Okay.
it. We're not in
Our
it.
name was drug into it, not directly and not in any of all of that, but by the fact that, like I pointed out to you, that for some reason there was a company out there that was going to refuse to do business with us because they thought we were associated with one of the parties in this argument.
Okay, let me say this.
And by bringing us into it like that,
But the way you're saying it, let me just clear this
I
up,
hear what
okay?
you're saying.
Not even a few months ago, on the reverse parties, we've had 2 contracts go away. And we let them go. We didn't fight for them. You know why? Because either way it goes, we're the news. We're not on anyone's side.
Right.
Let's get this shit straight. We're here to tell the news. If you do good news, I'm going to tell it. But if you're on the bad side of the news, I'm going to tell it. I don't care what side of the party you're on. That's what I want people to understand.
But it has to be actual news. There has to be something verifiable there. It can't just be you're crying like a baby.
No, I'm not worried about that. The news.
Right,
I'm not worried
the
about
news.
the stuff. The news. Only the news.
Right.
That's the only thing I'm worried about along here. I'm not going to be in a position.
Right, well, that's why I'm saying we haven't been involved in it before because...
Yes, we have. Dude, we lost 2 contracts. We lost a candy maker. Yes, we have.
I guess I wasn't aware that we lost the candy maker.
So you can't say we're not. And we still didn't go about it, and we still didn't blast anyone, and we didn't fight about
Right.
it, and we didn't go back and say anything to those people because it was their opinion. But it was in reverse of the opposite. It was totally reverse because we dealt with that guy. So it doesn't matter who we deal with, one or the other. Everyone has people that don't like him. Now let's stop right here, and I'm gonna tell you what we're talking about because I know y'all know nothing about what we're talking about right now. Y'all have no clue. Y'all have no clue at all. Well, in our community, we have MMJ heads, and they've not been cool with each other for about a year, I say. Because I will say this. I fell out with people, and the same people we fell out with, the whole community embraced. But nobody like us said, if you're messing with them, don't talk to us. No, we still covered everyone's stories. Okay? And then, in the big picture, for people to be CEOs and heads, and if you really are making this impact for the patients and the people and to make sure they're most well informed, we have to make a conscious decision at one point to stop this bickering. And I did say on Facebook, so I want to defend my statement, that I came from real streets. I came from street life, okay? I came from gang banging for a living, where all this stuff that we see on Facebook would have gotten you beat up.
Well, and that's another
Someone would have
point
showed
for
up
this
at your
is that
house.
this is stuff that we just plain outright avoid.
Right.
This became our topic today because of an
it's
incident
because it's
yesterday,
news. It's the
and
news.
because this is news.
It's the hottest news in the city. We must talk about it.
But the reality is this goes back to why we've been avoiding so much of this from the beginning, is that really there's a lot of people saying things and nobody has used their eyes. We've used our eyes, we've gone, we've checked, we know what's going on.
Now
So-
let's go back, because we still ain't told them what we're talking about. I know you want to talk about stuff, James, and we're not going to agree today. I already know, because I'm not in the attacking position of this. Because if I do, I'm them. And I will not be them.
I'm not...
You're attacking. You're in attacking mode, and I'm not in attacking mode because I don't care about any company that doesn't want to deal with us by anybody we deal with, because we don't deal with anyone. We tell the news.
I'm not in an attack mode on that level. I'm in attack mode because this is dumb. And like I said, there was a company yesterday that decided not to work with us because of a misconception that they thought one of the parties involved with this.
That's tomato. Like
That's
I
why
said,
I'm mad. I'm mad that our community is acting like this. Period. That
Well,
oneness is there, and that for two, like
that's what I
crying
said.
little
See, I grew up
sniveling
around
babies, they
gangbanging.
come running to us, and we
this.
weren't. We didn't. I don't
Okay,
feel like we
once
chose
again,
to jump into this. We
Can
were
I tell
now
them what we're
kind of
talking
told
about?
that.
Can I tell them what we're talking about, James?
Okay.
James, you're ranting, and I'm being honest, you sound like them. And that's no good. I'm just telling you, it's a bad eye, it's a black eye for us to come in and attack. Because you can't tell people not to do it and then attack them. What I'm saying
I
is,
guess I didn't feel like I was.
it's a black eye on the community for anyone to think that the news is supposed to pick a side. First and foremost. Secondly, I'm going to say, for any company that picks a side of who they're working with, let me tell you this, okay? In one point or another in our community, it's no way you can do that and successfully survive, because everyone in this community at one point or another at each event together. And you can't say you're not going to mess with the next person or the next person. And that's one thing I'm going to say. The Colorado X Cup and Thurlow Weed and AJ and At Home Baked and Louis Bubba Zombrick and Green Froggy and all these things, and it's Facebook banging. And when I say that, it's those three guys and AJ. And AJ, those one of the greatest meet and greet events in the city. These guys, I know them all. I love Bubba to death. Louis Zombrick is my friend. He's since the day I met him. I don't know what goes on in the behind the works with Bubba, but I know he does a lot for patients in the community. He gives out a lot of medication to cancer victims and things like that, and that's what Dr. Kush is about, is the patients. I don't care about the Facebook bickering, but what I do care about is this is our community that's getting this black eye, that everyone is acting as such because the leaders are acting that way. And the leaders, like I said in my Facebook, that where I came from, it comes to a point where you put the gloves on, you get in the ring, or you shut up.
Well, I guess that's where we actually do agree, and maybe I'm hyped up, maybe I'm being misunderstood, I don't know. But yeah, I feel like both parties need to be pulled into a room and both slapped in the face until they're ready to listen to, look, this is a community, and you two are fighting within the community to have the exact same friends from a limited number of friends, essentially.
Now, can I say this in defense of a moment? I like them both. And
right.
Everyone knows where I've been with Thurlow in the
So
industry.
this is all juvenile.
Me and Thurlow's been up, me and Thurlow's been down, and at the point, Thurlow and I know that we both are factors in this community, and it's more of a black eye for us to go at each other than to coexist. That's what the community needs.
Right.
That's two CEOs knowing what we're doing makes no sense.
To that extent, one of the comments made to me, and if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if this is wrong to bring up or whatever, but Jenny Cush continued to work with Thurlow Weed after they had their falling out too.
Well, I wouldn't
And
say
that's
they
from
work
the
together.
standpoint.
I wouldn't
That's
say
from the
they work
standpoint
together.
of.
I'd say they coexisted.
Okay, but
They
still
didn't
from the
work.
standpoint of.
I'd say they coexisted. It wouldn't be working. They might have done rallies where both was at the same rally, but not work. They didn't work together. They
Okay.
didn't work together. We won't say that.
By comparison to what's going on right now, though,
they
was.
did not work together. And I'm going to defend Jenny on that because she didn't. And I know
Right.
what Jenny felt.
Okay.
And me and Jenny was really close. Matter of fact, she was one of the first people that came on our show when she moved here in 2010. She moved here in January 2010. And if anybody in the industry, let me give you a breakdown. The first person I met in this industry was Thurlow Weed. When I met Thurlow Weed, he was doing the medicated chef. Way back then. If you want to know, I have a video of the first medicated chef that was put out. And if you see the video, I'm on it, doing the promo. That's how far back we go, okay? And when Jenny Kush first came here, I met her and I interviewed her. When I did shows on 101.5, I interviewed her again, and all the way into her passing, me and Jenny Cush has always been cool. I've DJ'd her events. I've ran into her from delivering the paper at the glass shop out in Thornton. I mean, not on Thornton, on West Colfax. And no, they didn't work together. We want to make sure that is definitely corrected.
All right,
that's
again,
not true.
I feel like we've got so much information that a lot of it, yes, is getting thrown into paraphrase. I guess, yes, you're right. I don't want to give the impression that she threw events with him or whatever. But when you compare it to what's going on right now with this exact, or even 3 or 4 of the past events in the past that either one of these parties has thrown, that both parties are calling for people to boycott the other person.
No, they didn't. He said in his thing, I am not saying don't go. I am telling you these things as a safety. No, he said it last time too. He said the exact same things. If you read it, it was like a repost. Honestly, straight up, almost word for word. That's where I knew. That's where I felt like
but
this was.
I'm not talking about specifically AJ with that comment. I'm talking about the company that, like I said that they are not dealing with anybody who deals with another party in this.
Well, I can't do nothing about that. I don't care about that. Because you know what? I've had 2 companies that told me in the same token that I deal with AJ, so they didn't want to deal with me. Okay? Right. So I've had the same thing happen on both sides. We can't do nothing about that. Because we're the news, and when AJ throws a good event, I'm going to pub it. I'm going to give him all the love that he needs to help his event be great. We can do something
about that. No, and it's preferable that we were able to do something like we had been trying to do. Telling everybody that, look, we're staying out of this because it looks ugly and you should stop it. Rather than forcing it to an issue where it is, again, I feel like this is an issue where we've been forced to have to put the real news out there so that everyone in the community can stop and start acting rationally before this gets out of hand. And like the claims are going, we have a big explosion on national TV or whatever, which is not a possibility.
Me, I really was compelled to do the story because I felt like the patients are getting the misjustice. I felt like the recreational users that are watching Facebook are getting it. I don't care nothing about what they're doing, James. I'm worried about the patients that's watching this.
Right,
and the patients watching this don't need to see it.
But that's why you need... I guess... Right.
I don't care if that company in the top shelf says because you deal with him that I wouldn't deal with you.
I care with them because that's the cause of the effect. The effect is that the cannabis community and the patients are getting the fall.
So big that if you don't want your name on the biggest bus because we covered an event, then it shouldn't be there. Because I don't support you either. And that's the same thing I had in the first factor when we started this a year and a half ago, and it started this. I stood on the grounds I covered the news. And I have not shaken from it, shook away, taken it away, nor stopped. And I won't stop today. So when I woke up today and I saw the first thing that hit my page was 76 comments on this subject, it became the hot topic of news for a weed channel.
Right.
Why do our leaders, and I'm not saying our leaders because I'm one of the leaders in this city, but why do people that would sit at the same table as me not recognize their position and what they're doing? And if you're being safe, I understand that. I understand if you're giving out the safe info. But if you go to the page and read it, it does say that they will not be blowing nothing in the building.
And maybe that's why I felt like this wasn't. It never was about that, is because we expressed our concerns about the safety.
When we first saw it, we talked about it. You can look at our show. You can go back to one of the midday burns, and our first opinion when we first heard it was like, "It's no way in hell we're going to go to a place that's blasting." And then we went. We looked at the place.
Because we recognized that we were hearing this third person already.
Third person convo.
And so everybody on Facebook is getting everything third person, and that's rough.
And that is a true statement. It sucks that...
I guess that's where all of my argument is coming from, and where I do put the blame back on those 2 people in particular, because they are perpetuating something that should have been over. You 2 don't have to throw the same events, but this is like...
They don't even have to work together.
This is younger than junior high. This is younger than middle school. This is elementary school. Well, you can't be my friend if you're Joe's friend. Well, you can't be my friend if you're Keith's friend.
And that's
ridiculous. So
ridiculous.
Stupid.
Like, honestly, who goes to 9 News and say, if you cover this story, we won't advertise
There
with
you go. Exactly.
Tell me what person has
Why
showed
are-
up to 9 News and said, if you cover this story,
So
I
why
will
do
not.
you disrespect each other and us and the entire community so much to be doing all of this, including
One Blunt
throwing us
Radio.
into it?
Well, hold on 1 second. Let me bring you in. Now, we got 6 people listening right now, and I hope y'all share this and let everyone know. Matter of fact, we're going to really push. You got to put your headphones on. I got to put my headphones on. All right, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
You hear me just fine? How about now? Okay, we got Miss Green Jeans from Rock Hill. And like I was saying, like, for me, I know my position in the industry out here, okay? And
Yeah.
it sucks when we see people like right now, let's keep it real. Yes, he throws the best meet and greet. He's the first one to start throwing them. He throws them every month, and he takes care of a lot of patients. And I love his product. If you look at my coverage right now, I'll take a picture. I got a box of at-home baked right now, okay? Right now in my coverage.
got
And if you think I'm
stickers all
playing, I'm gonna have long hair. Take a picture right now in Facebook, my at-home baked in my cupboard right now of AJ's product. But let's say this in the same token, okay? You have the 24-hour pipe and tobacco shop. Now, as much as everybody wants to say about him and everything else, and like I said, everybody knows, well documented, me and Thurlow's struggles. Okay?
Right.
They know where we met. They know where we had our issues. And the two bigger man came to a point where we're both doing something positive for the industry, no matter the way he covers his and the way I cover mine. He's still a sustainable entity
And
that's trying,
basically-
it looks as though, to do something. And I guess I can't say exactly the inner workings because I'm not there. But
from
he's a distributor now.
And
He has product in here. He has a pipe and tobacco shop. He somehow survived all this time, so everything is so illegal, they haven't closed him down.
well,
And he has a 24-hour pipe and tobacco shop. He has 2,000 members. And they come we went down there because I am performing at the event.
Right.
I want to say this. I am performing all 3 days at the X Cup. And before I really confirmed what I was going to do, I wanted to go down and just see myself, his facilities and
and-
what was going on.
just to be shit, man. I mean,
He's doing it right.
well, I
Everyone
want to
comes
say
in
I'm
and
not
signing
taking
up.
sides first and
not
foremost,
taking
but
anyone's
just
side,
to be
'cause I like 'em both.
just to be clear, Thurlow has approached you many times. This is the first time we went down to his place and saw what was going on.
Yeah, we've been invited
So on that
for numerous
standpoint,
occasions to come down and we just haven't.
thank you, Thurlow, for being persistent and continuing to do. Yes, as far
And I will give him credit for doing the right thing.
As
because
far as
everyone knows
everybody
me and
sees,
Thurlow, so everyone knows. See, the difference in my situation with Thurlow and what everyone else is doing is, instead of me being on Facebook and trying to badger his movements and do anything in that, I chose to take a standoff approach and just leave his events and everything with him alone until we talked.
well,
Okay, and see, that's the difference, is I didn't take my stuff to Facebook.
right, exactly. From that
Exactly.
standpoint,
That's my problem with the whole thing right there is the fact that it is going on Facebook. I was disturbed when reading it on both sides. I like AJ and Thurlow. I mean, hey, the point is this. All this needs to stop. I mean, this is from the outside looking in. I shouldn't be getting up first thing in the morning and reading Battle of the Titans down in Colorado, man. I mean, this is ridiculous.
Right.
We all in this for one purpose and one purpose alone. It's trying to get everybody free. And this is not the way of doing it, guys. The world is watching. I mean, I'm part of the media as well, and I don't want to share this kind of garbage. I want to share
Right.
good news. I want to share the positive things that's going on. And this is not the way you think. You think Facebook is not watching? They are. The media pulls a lot of things from our Facebook pages. I have seen this for myself in this area. A lot of media coverage that's going on is coming from Facebook, and this is the thing that y'all guys really truly do not need, with y'all going forward January 1st to becoming recreational legal. It's going to give you a big black eye. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying?
I totally agree.
Exactly right. And if there's even 1 million MMJ card holders in Colorado, fortunately, 999,990 of them have no idea about any of this still. And that's where we really need to keep it.
Yeah.
Or if they do know about it, they really haven't seen anything other than this and have no idea what's going on, or still planning on attending the event, or maybe they've changed their mind now.
I mean, I've seen since both the posts people saying, well, I'm not going, I'm not this. And because, see, and that's what I don't like about it, is because people starting their weight around. See, that's what I don't like. Because now, right. I don't like to see when I read what I read on Facebook. When I read a person say, well, I'm not going to go because AJ said this. Well, that's bad. That's bad because that's like mafia things. Like, okay, well, the Grand Poobah said this is a bad event, so, I'm glad he spoke. I'm not going to go now. No, you got to form your own opinion. You have to go to them people's page. If you was going to go read the page.
That's just it. Because I'm on Facebook. If the Grand Poobah saying this was the fire marshal after an inspection,
please read the entire story, then you judge your opinion. I'm not going to judge one because, like I said, I'm the outside looking in, and I like everybody. I mean, when I came there, and everybody treated me with love and respect, and that's how I'm going to treat this with love and respect. But part of being in the media, I must report this, and that's why I hit you up first thing this morning when I seen it, because I was like, what the hell went on in Denver, Colorado?
Man, you see, we had a whole nother, we was going on a whole nother line, okay? We was going on a whole nother line of things for our show today. But once this happened, I was like, hold on.
Yeah, no, that's why I had to say something, man, because I did not want to comment on this without knowing, what's going on with this. I'm getting ready with my day, going to get ready to do the veterans thing here. And see this, and I'm like, whoa.
I can tell you what happened. Because, see, a lot of people don't realize, it was like when AJ says he was done over by, I don't know what happened, but I know that when me and Thurlow went through our issues, immediately AJ and them took him in. And we became the bad guys for a moment. And nobody came to hear the story of what we was talking about, but we didn't push it. Because I knew in life, none of it was that important, okay? In life. He's his company, we was our company, we're going to keep moving, okay? Secondly, okay, they work together. When you was walking in the meet and greet, Thurlow was right there with the cannabis energy drinks. He was there with his 24-hour pipe and tobacco booths. Mm-hmm. When he threw his medicated chef, AJ was there.
From that standpoint, if this really was about keeping the community safe, this would have been done in private, as is contended, done in a consulting manner for other
everyone don't know how to talk to everyone. But I think businessly, it should have been done in the back.
Right.
Like businessly, if you felt that much, at least call and find out and call and say, hey, what's going on? Are you going to have live blasting? That's not safe. Like it has to be a way that we can do things better.
It should not have went to this level that it's got to. And I'm saying this from the outside looking in once again. And all parties involved, y'all all need to get together, get you about an ounce or two, roll up, sit down, talk like adults, and keep it off of Facebook, ladies and gentlemen, because this is not the way you want to go.
Man, I mean, like, I woke up when Miss Green Jeans hit me because I had actually cut my news on, and I started going through my stories.
Right.
So, to line up for the Breakfast Bowl. And she hit me, and I was like, well, let me go look. And then I see 76 comments over this crap. Because...
And you called it exactly right, crap.
Because let's say this. If you're not going, don't go. If you have your people that you're trying to tell that this might be unsafe, this could have been a private message. You could have private messaged this. Because you have a base. He has a base. It didn't have to be put out on the wall. It could have been put in a private message.
I'd like to give a shout out to our good man Cameron versus Humanity, because very early on, he did say, basically, yeah, look, everybody, we need to put this aside before this starts to look like a childish fight.
I'm going to go and give you the hash bash breakdown.
Because, and he said the same thing we did. Look, I'm friends with both of you. I'm part of this movement.
Man, I love AJ.
Part of the movement.
AJ has such a happy, or like it surprises me when I see his post when he goes this way, because
I ain't lying.
AJ has such a happy, wholesome aura that people tell, like Bubba said, he chest bumped him and tried to fight him. I'm like, I've never seen this AJ, because he's a really cool dude. When I see him, I'm not saying that he doesn't do it, but it's gotten wild. Like, okay, yeah. Let's look at this. 76 comments. Now, this is the thing that started everything on the net. I want to read you and I want to give you that, okay? In reference to all this X-Cup stuff next weekend, cannabis does save lives, but making BHO is dangerous, and open blasting is a horrible idea. I'm not down for this at all. I can't support any event where I feel people will be in danger and is a public event, not a private one. Sorry, I know the laws and rules, and this clearly is not following them. No disrespect to anyone, but people need to do things right, not half-ass, or to run it for everyone. Okay, I'm going to stop there. High Times has dispensaries giving out dabs and weed, and it's a national event, and it's to the public. Now, let's keep going.
Well, hold on. I want to stop there, too, already, because I feel... I just want to point this out to AJ, because this is where it goes into with what Cameron said, is there's already a couple things in there, AJ, that make this seem, unfortunately, like this isn't about the safety at all.
It does have...
There's already a couple of points in there, and one of them was saying something and then following it up immediately, and going into what you really feel there.
Right. If anyone was to put on this event, I would be against it. 100% BHO should be made by people who have the knowledge in safe places. Not just anybody in their basements and garages. That's how people blow themselves up. All it takes is a spark, not even open flames. So I don't see this helping the movement or educating. I see more like putting a razor blade in the hands of a baby. Nothing good can come of it. Wow. Now, we read this, right? I'm not going to go into any of the comments because, to be honest, it was really like, some people was like really going there, and
I would have imagined that Thurlow would have told us that the news was going to be there, and this was the first time I had heard about it. Is that still just a rumor, or
no?
Or do we know
he
the news is
mentioned it when
be
we was upstairs in the office that they might have Nightline. If you remember, we talked about that.
Yeah, but it wasn't confirmed.
Reverend Baker confirmed that evening, I would say, because he had talked to somebody about his prep for what he's going to talk about. And that's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering, like, Reverend Baker and Green Faith backs these events, and no one goes to them and tell them, we're not going to back you guys anymore. And that's what, at a point, sometimes in these bickering, I feel like we get caught on the racist end of it. And I'm going to say it, I'm going to call it just as I see it, because companies come to our company and ask things of us that they would ask no other company. And that's crazy to me. Like, some of the things people request is ridiculous. Like when you're the news, who calls up 9 News or 7 News and say these things? Like, if you cover this, we won't back you. No, you were supposed to cover the news.
Do you think that's because we're so much more approachable? Do you think that's because we seem like we might just actually be everybody's friend? Or do you think that is... I see 3 different valid... Right, but I see 3 different valid reasons why people would go there over the other news. I mean, the other news is a cold they. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you still ain't going in there and telling them, I'm not going to advertise. Oh, I can't deal with you because you told the story about the flood victims.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. They also don't feel like they could call them up and say, come over for dinner. Do they feel like they could call us and say, come over for dinner?
I'm pretty sure.
At least closer, right. So when you feel that friendly with someone, maybe you just lose that barrier with what's reasonable to ask.
I agree.
So to a certain extent, I suppose that's a mixed blessing. Still don't want to be asked to do things that you wouldn't ask anybody else to do, but at least you're comfortable to ask us anything, I guess.
No, I'm just saying, in an honest opinion, I believe that they should be able to have their own opinion. Like, if you don't want to work with the person, that is all good, because we've been in that position, okay? And okay, let me just say it like this. It's hard for me to do a lot of the stuff that this community allows at some points when people have problems with each other. Because in my growing up, I revert back to how I grew up. And things like this wouldn't be acceptable. You couldn't do that. You would have to come outside and fight, bro. You couldn't, if you call me out, you have to prove it. And this is where I'm saying it. And I'm saying this is now we're going to go to the Colorado X Cup. And we're going to see what their page says. Because he said live blasting, and I want to talk about that. Colorado X Cup Dabathon. Dabbing Olympics is the first cannabis industry event of its kind. 3 days of the top businesses in the industry. My brother came out, businesses. Gathered together to show off new and upcoming products for the holiday season. Also, the first nationwide dabbing Olympics, the Dabathon, where Colorado red card holder and anyone 21 and up that would like to compete for a custom dabber trophies, wax, shatters, butters, cash, and more. Check out the X Cup. To see a list of events, rules, and price, and how to enter and more. We're also looking for judges for the X Cup. If you think you know the difference between the best and the very best, we're looking for you. Extraction artists, if you think you got what it takes to be the best on the best categories, you're going to need to enter. Nowhere in here did it say live blasting.
Right.
Nowhere in here does it say live BHO, live blasting. It says judging and contest. They're going to be judging waxes.
If you scroll down a few more days, you find people talking about having just turned in their...
It's pictures of the product.
Right. So there's nothing that shows that that's what's going on. And, yeah, when we talk to him, it's not even... That's half. I think that's half the problem. Is that most people don't realize it's not at the iBake Lounge.
Well, it's not at the iBake Lounge. First and foremost, it's not at the iBake Lounge, and that's why we went there. And
it's way too big to be at the iBake Lounge.
Right. And
that's why we're going. Is because it's a big event.
I'll tell you what. We went in the building to look to find out because we had those questions because it was put out there. Mm-hmm. Safety is a concern, and we definitely want to make sure not only are we safe and the team is safe, everyone in the building is safe. Okay? And
again, the proper campaign to keep people safe isn't to tell them not to go. It's to get a hold of TL and tell him, look, man, you really need to consider not blowing.
I didn't see live blowing.
Right.
Like at first I thought we did, and we went in on this event like, whoa, right. Whoa. And then we found out and we retracted our statements.
Right.
Because what good news do is fix it when you have wrong news out.
Right.
So
but that's why I'm saying, though, even if it was the case that it was on his flyer, ring, ring, hey, Thurlow, do you realize blowing wax inside with a bunch of dabbers is probably a terrible idea? Rather than dude, everybody I know shouldn't go. I'm going to post it to all my Facebook friends that they shouldn't go because this is really bad. This guy's going to kill them, blah, 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 blah.
But see, the only thing
that's where it comes across is there's no way that, unfortunately, AJ, no matter what the words say, that it's hard to see it as being at that for face value after, sitting and looking at it for a while. And
well,
again,
the thing is,
I love AJ's events, and, I haven't... He's always been busy. I haven't actually really sat down and gotten to know him yet. You know what I mean?
He's a good guy.
Yeah,
and that's why I'm just like all this going on. They need to stop, and it's not they, but they either need to figure it out. They either need to, and when I say they, I mean the Thurlow, I mean the AJ, I mean the Bubba, I mean the Green Froggy. All this every 3 months, someone else throws out this big punch you in the face text statement about one another, and everyone slashing and dashing each other's businesses. Well, like Miss Green Jean said, the world is watching. They see these posts. The post was enough to make us talk about it. That's what I'm saying. Now, this was the X Cup's response today on their page, and it has 45 likes. There have been a few people discrediting this event without proper knowledge of the event. of the people throwing the event. For one, there will be no live extractions inside of the event or around anyone. There might be a closed-loop system extraction ran outside. This event was never started to compete with the 710 High Times Cup. Secret 24-hour pipe of tobacco has over 2,000 members. Some of them are hash makers and brag that theirs is the best. So this is just a friendly event, there for people to enjoy and have fun. And if it's not your cup of tea, then don't go. There's just no need to bash it or lie about it. No more negativity here on the walls here. It's about time to have a great time. Colorado X Cup only 1 week away.
So he posted that this morning?
That was who was posted
because I feel like he had posted that a day or two ago also, or something
well, no, you're right. November 8th.
Similar.
November 8th, you're right. November 8th.
Yeah. So I mean, then that changes the light of it. I mean,
that means your information was out before you even posted this today.
Right. So on that hand, again, bravo Thurlow for, I guess that's what I'd rather focus on is what people are doing right here. So we'll turn it around and go that way. And
yeah,
and you know what, Thurlow, again, he was persistent because of the what had gone on between you and him, and yeah, I had never seen any bashing of Thurlow going on while I've been here, and when we went over there, he was extremely happy to have us there, finally, and he didn't even harp on that, God, it's about time you guys got here, I've only been bugging you for a year, so there just needs to be a maturity level, and yeah, that's
I just don't
what
like.
it really comes down to is what really came out today, unfortunately.
I just don't like when I see the community doing this. I think more and more or less, like, okay, when we're doing the politics and they're debating over that, that's what we do. We're fighting as activists to change laws. Yes, it's a little nasty, but when you see the CEOs of some of the bigger events and people out here going at it and people trying to draw lines. You can't draw lines. How you draw lines? People work with almost everyone in the city on one faction or another. But it just seems like certain companies like us, we get if you talk to them or if you talk to them. So one way or another, we wouldn't have no business if we went by the pundits.
Well, and this, as with all stories, this story specifically is so dirty and messy that, sure, if you want to go all the way to that direction, there is quite a good possibility that AJ has every reason to be completely mad at Thurlow and never want to work with him and blah, blah, blah. But,
hey,
for one, there's nothing to report there because AJ hasn't taken it that direction that there is anything to say that way. He's taken it this direction.
No, back when it began, everybody knew about their fallouts, and that's what I'm saying. This is old. Like, it's like
right.
The old story that won't die. Let it go. Let it go, bro. Like, if it's going to do something...
You don't have to stop being mad at him, and you don't have to work with him.
Right.
But don't sling mud just for the sake of slinging mud.
Because when you throw your events, you don't want him coming out slinging mud. Or he's throwing his meet and greet, so now he finds a reason to sling mud.
He's given you that
Well, I mean,
respect.
Everybody in the city knows it's a great event, but in the big picture...
Everybody loves AJ's events.
In the big picture, nobody's like... We have to find a way to either have a sit-down, man, with all these factions in the industry that seem to have a little power, and either find a way to kill it, because you're not going to get no laws passed when you can't even sit down and work together. You're not going to get... Right. How are you going to get marijuana
laws? There's so
laws
many
through?
other things we need to work on right now.
You know what I'm saying? How are you going to get marijuana laws passed and y'all running around here bickering over stuff that's really minute to the patient? To the patient. Honestly. It ain't my bad, it's their bad.
In fact, what should be applauded is the fact that all of these hashes are being tested.
Every hash is being tested. And I don't think they mentioned that. They're saying that because the home growers grew it, it's unsafe. Well, that's why they're testing it, to make sure it's not unsafe.
I mean, right.
It says it on the site. Like, the right information is not being given out. Like, I'd be glad to throw a right hook if it was some bad info or somebody. I would have told Thurlow when I went to his office, Thurlow, you know this is unsafe. but it was nothing unsafe.
We didn't even have to ask about it because here we were like,
One Blunt Radio.
Hey, what's up? It's AJ.
AJ,
hey,
how you doing, bro?
man?
Wonderful. I wanted to join the conversation here.
Thank you. Help me today, bro. What is it? What's going on?
Because truthfully, you guys aren't addressing anything that are my actual issues.
Okay, well, help us, because that's what we wanted.
So totally. So please go ahead and pop me on there, and I'd be happy to tell you guys about it.
All right, we got AJ live with us right now. So,
Hey.
I know you hear us. We're going in, and that's why I don't want to put out the wrong information. But I know for me, when I woke up, as you hear me stating, I'm just concerned because I love everything that you're doing, and I love your patient push. Like I told him, I got your boxes. I got a fresh box right in my cupboard right now. You know what I mean?
Buddy.
And
Yeah, totally.
I know everyone knows my struggles with TL, but at a point, I had leaders come to me and say, you have to take one choice or another because people on the outside are being affected. And that's what I'm wondering with this, like, is it like, help me. Tell me your side of it, AJ. Because I know that you're passionate about this.
Totally. As of the new regulations that were passed a couple months ago for the legalization of cannabis here in Colorado for recreational use, you can no longer blast BHO privately. BHO needs to be blasted in a MIPS kitchen because the state and all of the regulatory committees and everyone that's making all of these laws realize that it is a dangerous process.
Okay.
Now, the reason for all of this is to keep patients safe.
Right.
Period. All right? Because they don't want people blasting, blowing up their garages, blowing up their basements, and having this negative outlook on the industry. Plain and simple. Okay? So they have outlawed making your own wax.
Okay.
For private use. Period. All right? So essentially the basis of this entire event, sadly, is illegal. And that's where my biggest issue lies.
Okay.
So, other than that, you know, a month ago when he started doing this, he had said live BHO blasting demonstrations.
Right, because
And
on our show, we blasted it on our show too.
Yeah, that's what this event was all about. Live BHO blasting to show people how to do it the right way. And that scared the crap out of me. And that's why I started telling people, go to the event if you want. That's totally fine. I completely understand. But I'm not going to be involved at all because there's supposed to be live blasting there. And I don't want to get blown up. Plain and simple.
Right.
You know? Then other people brought to my attention, well, the regulations that are in place, technically every single person that's entering this event is breaking the law. And I said, that's disgusting. You know, that hurts events as a whole, that hurts the community as a whole, because it basically is giving a big middle finger to the DOR, the MMED, the state committees who have been working so hard to get all these laws passed and everything like that. Because we're saying, you know what, screw you, we're going to keep doing this, and we're going to have a party to throw it in your face and show you all these people that are illegally doing this. And that's what really scares me. So, okay, all this stuff happens. Party goes down great, everything like that. All right? The news is there, they cover it, there's no explosions, everything works out totally fine. Okay? But again, the news is there, they cover it. All right? 2 weeks later, Thurlow's arrested for promoting illegal activity, blah, 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 whatever. Whatever the DOR, the MMED, the Department of Justice, anyone wants to do is out of our control. Because he decided to have this illegal event for the public, nationally televised, that can end up really, really hurting this industry and this movement. So that's why I made my statement that I made. People have been asking me constantly about this event. People have been asking me constantly how I feel about this event. And I was really just sort of tired of saying, you know what, make your own opinions. I'm not going to be there. I'd heard there was going to be live blasting, so I'm going to stay as far away from this as I can. You know, no offense to them, no offense to Thurlow, no offense to anything. Now,
Okay, I have one thing. I think those are definitely valid points. On the other hand, though, I would have to ask, that long before cannabis was even legal for medical uses, did you participate in high times events and things like that, and therefore illegally participate in the consumption of cannabis?
No, I never did personally by any means. The only thing all of you know this too.
Yeah.
That's why I am who I am. You know, this last year at High Times, I had an opportunity to have a booth. I had an opportunity to have a booth in the recreational area. I had an opportunity to have a booth in the recreational area and give out whatever I wanted to whoever I wanted. But I passed on that opportunity because I knew that was still very much a gray, if not red area, as far as the MMEB and the Department of Regulation, you know, the regulatory department, DOR, was considering. So what I did at this year's High Times Cannabis Cup is I walked around with my big sticks. And you know what? I love the Cannabis Cup community so much, and I love the High Times people so much, and they never give me any issues about essentially advertising at their event for free. You know, because they knew I could have a booth. They knew I would have a booth if it wasn't a gray to red area. And so I always take the higher ground when it comes to that respect. I've worked with Denver police. I've worked with the MMED. I've worked with everybody in this community for events over the past 4 years. And I'm happy to say, you know, Thurlow, look out, this isn't the way to do it, you know, be careful of this live blasting. And this is my way to say it. And
but
frankly,
see, that's the thing. That was the thing, though. See, okay, for me to you, AJ, if you got what I said earlier, that was the biggest thing that I thought, like, because, like, I feel like right now the world is watching our state.
Yeah, no, and I'm not telling him, you know, big fuck you by any means. I'm not telling him, you know, you should host events. I'm telling him if you're going to host events, host them the right way.
Right, but see, I just thought that you could have said it to him, like, privately.
Well, I could have said it to him privately, but I don't do things privately.
I
know. Dude, if I do things privately, no one knows about it because I'm helping someone directly to help them succeed in any way that I can. And everyone knows.
That's respected. That's well respected right there.
Wait. Let me finish.
Okay.
Everyone knows that I go out of my way to do that to everyone who has a place in our community.
Right.
Now, in the respect of Thurlow, I introduced him to this community. Okay. I gave him hundreds and hundreds of dollars from the very beginning of his radio show for advertising. I was his first advertiser ever. I was the first person to actually pay him to advertise on his radio show. All right? He was starving with Little Tree. They call me up and say, we haven't eaten in days. Is there any way that you could possibly, you know, send us a pizza or something? I pick up the phone right then with my credit card, and I order them 3 pizzas and send them to their house. And that's the kind of person I am, because I don't ever want to see any good person suffer.
Right.
Now, when the whole basis of this story really is when I needed him, okay, when I was accused of a false assault on Lou Zarovnik, when I was literally taken into court and facing assault charges and jail time for something that never happened, and he witnessed that it had never happened because my backpack was literally sitting underneath his table at the event where said occurrence happened, I said, Thurlow, I would really appreciate it if you went ahead and told, you know, the prosecutor your statement and that you never saw anything happen, you never saw me assault anyone, anything like that. He said, no problem, AJ. I'm totally down for that. That's totally cool. Give him my name, give him my number, whatever you need. I said, awesome. Thank you, buddy. I really appreciate that. Okay? This went on for over a month and a half. They called him 5 different times. Every time they called him as the prosecutors, he would have Little Tree answer the phone, and she would say that he was unavailable. After the 5th time of them calling to get this legal required statement, they said, if we send a unit over there, will he be available for us to take the statement? As soon as they said that to him, he turned around and started posting everywhere on Facebook, on his page, everything like that, AJ Hashman is a narc. AJ Hashman has called the cops on me. AJ Hashman will have you home by the police if you go to his events. Okay? I put this out there to the community because it made me really upset once I found out about a week later all this has happened, because I had just let it go. And we had our whole knockdown, drag out, pissed off at each other thing. Okay? Now, after all that had happened, I let it go. He's not in my mind, he's not in my thoughts, he's not even on my radar, to tell you the truth. It scared me to see this pipe and tobacco shop that's blatantly, illegally giving cannabis to people in exchange for payment, because that is illegal unless you are a recreational dispensary, which don't exist yet. But I've left it all alone. You know, when you advertise an event, though, which is my thing, and say there's going to be live blasting there, and invite the community, which I love so much, to be involved, and put them all in danger, I'm not going to sit down. And you all know that.
Well,
right?
well, maybe your first post might have made them change. Because, I mean, when we first read it, was like a month ago, and we did a show because we could have sworn we saw live blasting too, and we was like, whoa, you can't do that. You know what I'm saying? So we was caught there. But then we went to his page, and I don't know what happened from when we first saw it. Someone must have came to him and said the same thing, because all of it was taken away.
I'm sure. Yeah, he saw that I got upset about it, I'm sure, and took it off of there. And that's great. That's wonderful. I'm glad the end result is keeping the patients in this community safe.
So that's what it's about.
But,
to me, that's first and foremost.
But I really want to make it clear that I'm not being the asshole here.
Okay.
Because I'm just going out of my way to keep this community safe and to keep this community moving forward. And when you say I'm going to have Dateline there and we're going to be doing live blasting,
but I don't think Dateline's covering that from what I was reading.
Or whatever it was, ABC or whatever the
I think it's Nightline, but I think they're doing something on the back end, not event-wise, but more on the extraction processes.
Well, you know what I mean. That's
tomato, I don't know. I don't know.
It just that scared the shit out of me. And you guys know me. And I'm not going to stay quiet when something like that scares me.
Well, you know, I mean, I've been a victim of doing an interview and the police showing up at my house, so. Oh,
yeah, no, you know me.
I've had that happen.
I've been arrested at my fucking event.
Yeah.
because of that fake warrant. Because of the fake warrant for the fake assault.
Right.
And I mean, this has all been in such public eye. And it disgusts me to have that happen, because I am a private person, and I love the people around me, and everyone knows I keep a very, very small, close circle with me. But I am friends with everyone, and I support everyone, and I go out of my way to support everyone.
Yes, you do. Hey,
and I mean,
like I said, to me, you throw the best monthly event, and you're consistent with it, and you see the care that you put in the product, in the product that you put out, and the care that you have behind the patients. You know what I'm saying? And that's the biggest thing that drove me to do this show this morning when I read everything, because I just felt like that we have to find a way to keep all this out the patient's face, but still keep it irrelevant. Like, I know, because, I mean, I'm the radio, so it sounds odd for me to say that, because, yes, we talk about everything, you know what I mean? I mean, right now, I just believe that we have a really big vision, and a lot of people's going to be coming here, so I guess, in retrospect, in your side, is making sure people know right information. And, you know what I'm saying? I see exactly where you're coming from, and talking to you gives me a better feeling than I felt when I read the Facebook this morning. I
totally understand. And the people that know me know where I come from, you know. And I can also give you another really pertinent story to this whole thing. Now, I was a judge and one of the main people involved with the first Medicaid chef contest, because I was really excited about this. I mean, this is my life. This is my background. You know, cannabis and cooking. I went to Johnson & Wales. I don't know if people know about that. But, I mean, I love cannabis and cooking. It's my passion. It's my life. I love the Food Network. I love watching all the cooking shows, everything like that. And it was my dream to have a cannabis cooking show. You know, just like an Iron Chef type of thing, but for cannabis cooks. You know, or a Top Chef type of thing. Thurlow came to me with this idea, and I said, dude, I've been forever. That's awesome. Let's do this. He goes, okay, great. You're going to be one of the guest judges. I want your help promoting it, everything like that. I said, awesome. You know, anything here for you. I said, there's a couple things we have to do. You know, we have to get cameras. We have to project up on the screen what all these people are doing cooking, or else no one will have any idea what's going on. You know, a couple other things that I suggested, things like that. Totally disregarded it. Said, okay, fine, whatever. It's your event. You do what you need to do. I even offered to buy the camera and set it all up. Now, this event happens, okay? Everyone's crowded up on stage. No one sees anything. People are kind of pissed off about the entire thing, okay? I come to him during the event. He let people cook for 2.5 hours. They were supposed to have a 1-hour cooking time limit. You know, at the 1.5-hour mark, I was like, buddy, you got to switch these people out or else other people aren't going to get to cook. Tell them, give them 10 minutes. If they're not finished with something, they got to forfeit. Okay. You know, let them finish cooking. The last 2 people have 45 minutes to cook. All right? They cook like crazy. They're both amazing. One of them is the cannabis Playboy chef for Playboy TV. Okay? He blows everyone else out of the water. I mean, his food was delicious, outstanding. It worked well. It was medicated, didn't taste bad. It was awesome. He wins the event. Okay? Now, there's supposed to be a $5,000 prize for the winner and all this other stuff. Now, I become friends with this guy throughout the course of the event. He was a real guy, Chef Fred Nesbitt. Chef Fred goes to Thurlow's the next day. Thurlow says, okay, well, I'll give you your $5,000 if you sign an exclusive agreement with No Excuses Radio to only promote through us, and you are now our official Medicaid chef sponsor, and you can't work with anyone else. Now, as I said, he is the chef for Playboy TV. So he goes, you know, I'm sorry, I have previous engagements. I can't be involved with an exclusive contract like this. He goes, what are you talking about, man? You never told me anything about that beforehand. He literally blows up on this guy. Threatens to fight him in the front yard. He then goes out and says, Chef Fred Nesbitt has been disqualified because he asked us to get him cocaine during the event. I mean, how ridiculous is that? Just tell people the truth. Say he wouldn't sign my exclusive contract, so I can't have him as the winner of this event. Okay? He goes down the line to the next people for the event as far as winner-wise. No one ever sees a penny. You can contact every single cook that was involved in this event. It's supposed to be a $5,000 prize. Okay? So, basically, the money just disappears, the event disappears, and everyone just kind of forgets about it. Now, this is the last big event that he tried to host. So, all I'm telling people is this is what I experienced last time. Personally, I wouldn't want to be involved in future events. And that's it. I don't tell people don't go to his event.
Right, and you did say that. You said that over and over in your post.
Yeah, I don't tell people you're going to blow up if you go to this. I don't tell people, you know, don't support his shop. I don't tell people he's a bad person. I just tell people my experiences. Because you know what? It's the truth. And that's all I'm here for.
Right.
To tell people what I've been through so that they don't need to learn the same hard lessons that I've learned. Because trust me, I've learned a lot of them in this industry. And you guys all know that.
Yeah.
Right.
The thing I'd like to say is that, yeah, definitely looking through these, I can agree with that being your tone, but that's not the tone the whole conversation ends up taking on, unfortunately.
Right, because everybody else's opinions chimed in, and then it turned into like the monster of a conversation of 76 comments.
And that's where you got tied into looking.
Right, and I mean, for us as a radio station on the outside, AJ looking in, ironically, somehow, we continue to be tied into this, okay? And I can give you our retrospective how we say that. Like, I've had 2 clients and one recent client now, like, in retrospect, one client because I performed at your meet and greet, and I came and support you, and I did an interview with you, right? I had 2 clients say, "Oh, well, he wronged my guy, so we can't advertise with you now." And I'm like, "Hey, man, we're the news." And then in retrospect, we had a guy just this week tell us, "Oh, we hear you're supposed to perform there, so we can't deal with you." And I'm like, "Dude, with the news, I'm an artist. Like, I'm a rapper." And somehow, our radio, and it seems to, that was a lot of our motivation behind the show, too, is that, like, we tell the news, and, like, if it's good news or bad news, everyone knows Blunt Radio is going to be there and try to get it out. And
you lost sponsors from performing at the meet and greet?
Yes.
How?
Well, you know what you and Bubba have, so some of his factions, and
Hold on. Bubba Luzerobnik, that guy?
Yeah. And
okay.
And he's my friend. I'll say that first and foremost, even with the guys did as I explained to Bubba.
Well,
I could care less.
Let me give you a little background on that. He threatened my life and my child's life, and I have a restraining order against him for stalking. Okay? He literally took covert photos of me and sent me death threats. So that tells you a little bit about the person that you're friends with, to tell you the truth.
Wow.
And I still let it go. Right?
Right.
So that tells you a little bit about me. All right, and I can show you this restraining order also if you'd like. Permanent restraining order against him for stalking. Okay? I didn't even have to pay for the restraining order because that's how fucked up his actions were.
Damn.
So if you're losing business because these places are associating with him, you're much better off losing that business.
Well, as I told them on the news, and I bumped heads with a lot bigger people, and I'm going to stand on the format that I'm going to cover all MMJ news. From any corner of this city or the state of the country. And it's like me being in the news and somebody saying they're going to buy me off of what to talk about. I'm not going to let nobody do that to me.
No, screw that.
And
I mean, I'm the same way.
And I'm out here for the patient. Like, at the end of the day, the businesses are great, but I spread the news and I work 365 days a year because I try to tell the best stories and I try to lead the patients to the best product and what can help you. Like, I've reached out to you about a person in Kansas. Like, how can I help these people? Because that's what I'm about. You know what I mean? I'm not just out here because I like to do music and it's MMJ music, because we would have been quit. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why, I'm so glad you called in, because I'm pretty sure we'll probably get more call-ins after this because you've stirred the pot today.
Well, sure. I mean, I like I said, I just want people to know what the real things are behind this. It's not because I hate TL weed, by any means. It's actually, I let it all go.
So can I ask a question? Is there any way that y'all can sit down and probably hash out your situation? Like in the sake of
truthfully,
or the best off just saying that just it's better off just no contact, but just you go your way, I go mine.
That's exactly it. That's exactly how I've taken all this, and that's exactly. I mean, if you read my actual post, that's exactly how I state it. Is that I'm not telling people one way or the other, but people are constantly asking me about this, so this is how I feel about it, and that's it. It's all how I feel.
Right.
It's not how
you did say that. You said that in defense of it. You did say that.
It's not how you guys need to take this event.
Right.
I just explain exactly what I've been through, which is all true, and then let people make their own decisions.
Right.
Because that's what I would want if I was the person listening.
Right. And I totally agree. I totally. That's why we did this story, because I felt like that this event, this story had garnered so much attention in our market that we owed our listeners a chance to hear, we opened our phone lines up, and I'm glad you called in. Anyone's welcome to call in and, voice their opinion on this event, because it's garnered that much attention that I want, it made me go read up even harder on the sites to find out that what date that it was turned out that it's not going to be no live extraction and all that, because, yes, you do not want people in the building with people doing, you can't do that. You can't do that.
And like I said, he had it the exact opposite before. And that's what made me so upset. was that there was going to be open blasting at the event. You saw it. They've changed it now.
I mean, I did a story. In defense, what I saw, we immediately did a story like, "Whoa, what the hell? No."
I mean, everyone did that. You know, my other friends in the BHO community were like, "What is this all about? We got to put this on blast because if we don't, he's going to do this, and we're all going to get, you know, we're all going to have serious issues." Because the news is going to be there and something's going to happen and it's going to ruin BHO for everybody.
Right.
And patients aren't going to be able to access it anymore. And they're going to compare it to meth and all the other negative things that they can do. If
I agree.
something happened at an open blasting event,
and that's why when I went back and seen it, I owed it as a journalist to go back and say they're not doing live blasting now. I owed it as a journalist to make sure that. Me and Jim Brown went in on this situation because once again I'm worried about the patients and I was worried about that, but then when I saw that and I went and talked to him because I was concerned about that. I was concerned about the facility, so we rode out there personally ourselves. I want to say this on the record that we rode out. We seen it's not going to be in his building.
and so
We seen that.
why is it the address of his building, but it's not going to be there? I don't understand.
I know that it's down the block and at a warehouse, and I've been to the warehouse. So I know that it's not in his building because his building wouldn't hold it because we went there.
Right.
That's the other thing that really scared me was exactly some type of open blasting event in a little teeny space.
Right.
That
I understand
is
that.
going to be a huge issue.
And I believe that they recognize that. And in defense of it, I have to say these things that they have turned in their wax early, and the wax is being tested.
That's fine. I mean,
So, but in the legal factors, I understand what you're saying because the legal is illegal. You can't clean up illegal.
Exactly.
Right.
Now, I will say that. Now, I can't cover that either.
And that's fine testing it, but the sad thing is that this entire event is technically illegal.
Right.
And everyone that's participating in this event technically could be arrested, to tell you the truth. They could walk in and say who made all these samples and have every single one of those people leave in handcuffs. And I just like to make that really clear. And again, that's something that could be on the news. And that really scares the crap out of me. Because that's the last thing we need for this community. You know, we take 10 steps forward, and then one silly thing like this is all it takes to send us 50 steps back. And that's what scares the crap out of me. And no offense to Thurlow, but he's not the best businessman. You can talk to anyone in the industry, and he has burnt so many bridges that literally, if it was an island, he'd get nowhere. You know? And it drives me crazy to think that someone like this is hosting an event illegally that could possibly ruin my events that do so much for the patients. Like, seeing this event go down and having legal repercussions from this event could simply make them sit.
Well, I can see it.
Right. Well, and
we lost him. I think we lost AJ. He might call back,
Well,
but
yeah,
we did
hopefully-
lose him.
but yeah, I definitely
The phone lines
glad
are
he
open.
called in because
Well, Thurlow Weed just hit the chat board and said he will be calling in. One Blunt Radio.
No, sorry, my phone dropped off. You know, to work with the Denver police and to work with the MMED and say, what do you want at these events? How can I make these events something that you guys are happy with, that you guys are fine with, and that stays 100% legal? And that's exactly what I've done. And frankly, he hasn't contacted anyone. You know, to do this event at the facility that he wants to do it at, he needs an amusement permit. Okay? Now, if he goes to the city of Denver, they're not going to give him one. And it takes over 2 months to get a permit as such, like the ones that I procure. And the thing is that with an event like this, it has so much more potential for harm than for good that I felt it was more my duty to warn the community than something that I should keep taking the high ground on and just ignore, like I've done with everything else that he does.
Okay, I can respect that.
I mean, all I want is for people not to lose something
Right.
that I've worked 4 years to build and that I've lost tens of thousands of dollars on because I do it for the patients.
Right.
Well, and that's why I was about to say before you were called back, I tried to squeeze it in before you called back.
Sorry.
I was so glad that you called in because that was definitely a perspective that we didn't necessarily see, is exactly how much you really had at stake in everything that you had developed. I mean, we knew that there was a lot in this industry, and maybe I'm just speaking for myself, but that concern, I guess, wasn't specifically coming out in that 76
Well, no,
set
I mean,
of comments.
You heard where AJ went, and I caught it. I understood exactly what he said.
But that's not where the whole
I just
thing
didn't.
went.
I just really didn't like what everybody else pinged down and said because
Yes, exactly. And you know what's the funny thing is that every time I put anything about Thurlow that's completely neutral and out there, literally 20 to 100 people chime in and say how much they hate him and how he screwed them over and how he owes them thousands of dollars. And frankly, I'm just happy that I found it out before I was in that kind of situation, you know?
Yeah.
And all I'm trying to do is make sure that people like you, people like, you know, the in the industry that haven't went through this yet don't have to, plain and simple. Because if he does these things and we're not involved and shit goes down, then we can turn around as a community and say, look, all right, all these people were not our community. This does not reflect the views of our community. This is not how our community does things. So, therefore, you know, punish him if you will, but at least let the community carry on. But in the eyes of the DOR and in the eyes of the MMED and in the eyes of the DPD, they're not going to care. You know, if one person messes it up, it's messed up. And there's no going back.
right.
You know, and that's the scariest thing about all this. The scariest thing about all this as far as events go. Because that means no 710 cups. That means no High Times Cannabis cups. That means probably not even Champs again.
Right.
And that's not just negative for me, that's negative for the entire Colorado economy. I mean, that's huge tourism dollars that we generate every year. That's huge media coverage for our centers that we generate every year. That's where they make so much of their money to let them be able to survive. And the centers surviving is the patients are going to get their meds. I mean, you know, if we went back to a caregiver system right now, we'd all be screwed.
Right.
Because, sure, there's good caregivers out there, but then there's places. There's not going to be any more $125 ounces. There's not going to be any more, you know, free Phoenix tears for cancer stations. It's going to be, give me my money, do a shady drug deal, go your own way. And that's the last thing I ever want to see happen. And to keep it the way that it is, we need to make sure that events are on the up and up, plain and simple.
So
You know, I don't even let private blasters give away their wax at my meet and greet.
right.
You know what I mean? Every single dab you take is from a dispensary. Do you know why? Because that dispensary knows how to do it the right way. Period. Right?
Right. I can't dispute
without
that. Like,
hurting
right.
anyone.
And the worst thing you want to do is get something not with butane or something still not all the way out of it or anything like that because
Well,
it shuts
and-
arteries down and
Yeah, and the worst thing you're going to do is not go to that dispensary if they have shitty BHO.
right. We
You
just
know,
got some.
now with this event, with the testing, you're not going to go to Bill's house to buy his BHO now if he gets you sick at this event. I mean, there's no quantification. You know, there's really actually almost no reason for it. It's a bunch. If you have a bunch of people that blast at your place, or you have a bunch of people that blast that are members at your place, hold a private event. You know, have a blast off. Whatever the hell you want to do, don't make it public. You know, he literally has flyers everywhere, and this is a non-patient event. As soon as you print flyers and start advertising to the general public, and you don't say patients only, you don't say private event, those types of things. And you can say private event, but it has to be a patients only event to be a private event. So basically, or it has to be a specific
Well,
guest
like the
list with specific
Bongathon
people
does,
invited.
invitation only.
Correct, exactly.
I understand that side, yes.
Or like my Hotbox event that's happening, where only me and my friends are invited to this event.
Right.
Very small group, about 5,000 people. But if you say, all right, so say you hosted a private event, you say it's a private event, only men can come, okay? That's not a private event. That's 50% of our population, okay? The reason why my meet and greets work is I say only red card holders can come, okay? That's only about 100,000 people in a state of 6 million people, all right? That's less than 10%. So that can be considered a very small percentage of the population. Therefore, those people can be the only ones invited, making this a private event. You know, requiring them to have an invitation, quote unquote, which is their red card.
Right.
That's what keeps everything I do legal. This public event puts all of that in jeopardy. And that's what scares the crap out of me.
Got it.
You know, because I don't, and you know me, Fred, I mean, do I drive around in a Lexus or a Mercedes?
No.
You know?
And I don't see me dressing like this, so this was kind of like, that's what I said earlier in the show. Like I said, I usually see AJ smiling, laid back, and moving through an event with a big, happy smile.
Exactly. Do I have a
Last
big
time with Rice
expensive watch
Krispies.
on, showing off to everyone how much money I make? No, because you know what? I don't make money. I make products for patients. I make the cheapest, strongest, best tasting edibles on the market. And you know what? I could be selling my edibles for twice what I'm selling them for, and that's what the market would bear, but I don't, simply because I do it for the patients. That's the same reason I started these meet and greets, was simply for the patients, because you know what? 90% of the people out there can't drive around to 10 different dispensaries and try 2 or 3 different strains of each.
Mm-hmm.
They can only go to one thing and spend $5 or $10, you know, maybe $20, and get to try all these things. And that's what this thing was all about, was getting the right medicine to the right people for a very low cost. And the dispensaries have seen the benefit of it. You know, we've seen the benefit of it. Other edible companies have seen the benefit of it, because it lets people try their medicine before they go out and buy it.
Right.
And that's what it's been all about. Now,
I found a couple of new dispensaries from going to your meet and greets that I probably wouldn't have never went to, but I had a chance to try their products, so it made it worth the drive.
Exactly.
Speaking of which,
I mean, it's an incredible event, and one event like this X Cup can ruin that forever. And that's really where my thoughts and my concerns come into play. Is this one event that he's trying to be Mr. Cool about and get all this media coverage about and everything like that worth losing all the other events that make this community so awesome?
So would it have been beneficial to actually reach out to him and say, hey, you probably should add these couple things so that you don't take a chance of messing things up for us all?
Because by your admission,
because I've done that before.
But by your admission, you can't say anything neutral about TL without it getting out of hand. So
exactly, and that's why I just take a completely out of the loop stance, you know, and that's why I've always done that with this entire. I mean, this has been months and months, and I haven't said shit about any of this, you know, and. You guys know me, I like to talk. As you can see on this show.
Yes.
You know, people, everything that's going on.
I noticed now my phones are starting to blow up.
Right? But whenever something like this is going on, I keep it to myself until I feel like there could be something that really hurts our community, hurts patients. And that's the only place that I was ever coming from, and I just wanted to make that clear to you guys, because you know, your there has never met me or anything like that, but I know that you know me. and
Right.
you know where my heart comes from.
Like I said, I've never like everything that I heard and everything that's going on. I've never heard like most of the things that the way it's coming on, and
I mean,
that's why I'm glad you
straight up.
called. And I mean, I want to be able to get everybody's side of the stories because I want the people to know about the event. I want the people to know what the biggest concerns are, why it's 76 comments on there, and all that good stuff.
Well, and you know, over 90 people that liked it. You know, that liked the fact that I'm just telling people what's up. You know, I'm not taking one side or the other. I'm not saying don't support him. I'm not saying, you know, Thurlow Weed, get the fuck out of Colorado like I could. But in the same respect, you know, he's alienated almost as many people as I've befriended. And that's a hard work. That's hard work. All right. Every glass blower in this community wants nothing to do with him because they've given him glass, they've sold him glass, and they've never seen anything in return. You know, and that's a big part of the community that I love. But you know what? I've never put him on blast for any of that. You know, and it drives me crazy when all I say is be careful. And people blow it so far out of proportion and say that I'm out to get in and I don't want his event to be successful, because that's not at all what I want.
Well, I mean,
I want his event to be successful.
The way the post went, that's how it came off, though. Like, as the life of that post grew, that's what it grew into. Because, like, when I woke up this morning, you can't control. No, of course not. Of course not. We know that now. Because when I read it, I woke up and I was like, wow. And then I kept reading, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
And then I got to the end and I was like, wow, 76.
Well, I mean, literally when this was all happening, when the first thing with TL was all happening, right after the medicated chef thing, I put out there that he had wronged me. You know, I was like, this guy called me a narc. You know, that's just not right. All I wanted was his support on a legal matter, which he was directly involved in. And, you know, he chose to flip the script and call me a narc and try to alienate me in the community. And people got so upset about that they were threatening him. And Little Tree called me up in tears saying, people are threatening to come over here and cut his dick off and kill him and all this other stuff. And I go, that's never what I wanted. You know, I apologized. I said, I'm sorry, that's never what I wanted. I just wanted to let it be known that he screwed me over. You know, because that's not right. You can't just go around screwing people over for no reason and calling them a narc. Plain and simple. Not in this community. And she was like, well, you need to recall all your statements, and you need to tell people that he's not this and he's not that. And I was like, you know what, that's fine. I'll tell people whatever you need me to tell them. But you know what, this is it. You know, I'm not going to be your friend. I'm not going to be your buddy. If you keep me out of your mouth, I'll keep you out of mine. And when you guys do something that I don't agree with, I'm just going to tell you I don't agree with it, plain and simple. I'm not going to make a big deal about it. I'm not going to tell people that they need to boycott you. I'm not going to tell them anything like that, but I am going to tell them what happened to me, because you guys did this. And plain and simple, that's really what it comes down to. You know, I've put out so much good in this community, and I've really worked hard to never screw anybody over. And all that I've gotten as far as these things that people see are negative responses. You know, I gave Bubba the chance to invest in our company in the very beginning because I thought he was a good guy. Okay? After that, he invested money from a felon into our MMJ company via a check with a felon's name on it. And you guys know the laws. You cannot have a felon involved in an MMJ company.
Right.
So I said, you know, I'm really sorry, Bubba. I would love to work with you guys, but you've clearly broken the law here. Here's every penny that you gave us back. I literally gave him back every penny he gave us. And that wasn't easy. I scraped together everything I had, borrowed from everyone that I knew as far as, my parents and things like that, just to be able to pay this guy off to be sure that it didn't ruin my dream of at-home baked. Now, after I do this, he turns around, slanders me, publicly humiliates me, or tries to at least, puts up a website with our bank account number on it, puts up a website with my child's picture on it, the place that he goes to school. I mean, all kinds of really fucked up shit. And I let it all go. All that I did was build my case against him to get my restraining order. And once he did enough to where he literally threatened my life multiple times, I got my restraining order. And you know what? People gave me shit about that too. You should never go to the top. You should never, for anything, you should just kill him. And I was like, seriously, we don't live in 1805. All right, I'm not going to go out and buy a Colt Remington and shoot the guy on the corner over $5. But if he's harassing me, I'm going to go the proper route legally and get my own protection. And that's exactly what I did. And I've always tried to take the high ground. I've always tried to take the professional route on everything. But really, when it comes to TL, it's kind of sad to say that there's usually not a high ground, because as soon as I say something, positive, negative, or otherwise, 100 people are going to comment negatively on it because he's wrong them, and I can't control that. It'd be like if every time Bubba put a post up about me, 100 people chimed in and said, "Oh my God, AJ's such a horrible person. I'm not surprised that he tried to screw you over, blah, blah." And no one would say that, because that's the exact opposite of what I've tried to do my entire life in this community.
Right.
And you've seen it. I mean, you've been with me through all of it, right?
Yeah.
Well, when's your next event, man?
And I don't mean to get on my soapbox. And you guys know I don't get this emotional about very many things.
I haven't seen you this AJ before. This is like, I've never seen you this compassionate. So I see the compassion about the event and the patience, but like I mean, I've heard a lot. Like I said, like we've been pretty much put into this inadvertently for simple factors of just the movement that the radio does. That in one way or another, people are upset of who you deal with. And like for us, it's like we're in the catch-22. We're just going to give the news, and like I said, I have a better understanding of where that post came from, and if it's the only thing I can say, that I wish that we could find a way that more of this gets done in the backside than in the front side. And I understand, but like I said, I'm not his friend, right?
And I'm never gonna be his friend, because friends don't tell friends that they're narcs.
Right. Right.
Plain and simple, especially when they know it's not true. And I mean, he literally went out to try to hurt me, and to try to hurt my events. And I let it go. And I'm going to keep letting it go because, like I said at the beginning of this conversation, he's not on my map. He's not on my radar. He's not even a blip on the fish finder.
Well, on that, why don't you let us know about your next event?
Oh, okay. Well, awesome. Our next event is going to be pretty incredible, actually. It's called Thanksgiving with a D, and it's going to be on 11/30. As you guys know, 420 plus 710 equals 11/30, and we have an oil event on 710, and we have a cannabis event on 420. So I figured we should have an edible event on 11/30.
Okay.
So that's kind of where Thanksgiving was born. And what we're gonna do, we're calling it a potluck affair. So if you want to make any food, medicated, non-medicated, anything like that, feel free to bring it and share it with the community that we all love so much. It's $10 at the door, cash as always, but we had something pretty awesome this month come through. VIP Cannabis wants to be one of our main sponsors. Every single person that walks through that door and pays $10, they're getting $20 off their first time at VIP.
Nice.
Good deal.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you're really getting paid $10 to go to this event.
Right.
So, and that's really where I've always come from. It's giving back to the patients who support the community and who do so much in so many ways. And I love the fact that dispensaries are now stepping up and helping me do exactly that. You know, I was super surprised VIP Cannabis wanted to do this. And we've had so many amazing sponsors throughout the years, you know, with Southwest and with Green Solution and, I mean, all the guys who have been with us through all this stuff, you know, Green Man and all the other places. And I just can't say how much I appreciate all of them, because I'm just a guy throwing a party. You know, sure, I can make the event cool and I can do fun giveaways and stuff like that, but they're what make the event legendary. You know, they're the ones that let me purchase the meds for a discount and give it all back to the patients directly. They're the ones that set up these data stations and share their wonderful oils and edibles with all the patients that are out there. And they're the ones that are really making a difference in patients' lives. I mean, they're the ones that are giving these huge coupons at these events. You know, they're the ones that are just simply giving away stuff at these events. And their generosity and their motivation behind all of it, which is none, except for showing people how proud they are of their product, inspires me. You know, and that's why I keep doing these events. So yeah, exactly. And it's going to be right across from Grow Big Supply, 4501 Wine Coop Street.
Okay.
And it's a huge new facility, 12,000 square feet, and we have about room for 45 booths. And we're going to have 20 plus 8-foot tables with seating around all of them, so there'll be plenty of seating for patients to sit down and enjoy their food or set up their rigs or anything like that. And it's really going to be an incredible event, you know.
Sounds like it.
All right.
And, you know, it's by patients for patients. You know, because first and foremost, I'm a patient. You know, I may be at the front of the media movement. I may be at the front of the event movement. I may, you know, be one of the big edible people out there. But you know why I do it? My back. You know, I have severe nerve damage. You know, and I have really serious issues to where some days, even with cannabis, I can barely get out of bed. And I know how all these patients feel who are stuck in their beds, who are, you know, frustrated with shitty medication from subpar dispensaries. And that's where this all came from, was let me show people what they can be getting, where they can be getting it, and frankly, what's good that month. Because you guys know it's a plant. It's constantly changing.
Right.
You know, one month the Green Solution could have an amazing Bubba Kush. The next month Green Man could have an amazing Bubba Kush. The next month Caregivers for Life could have an amazing Bubba Kush. And unless we have events like this where people actually get to try the flowers as a patient, there's no way for a patient to know that, because they're not going to drive around all those dispensaries every month and compare all of them, right?
Right.
Well, and as always, One Blunt Radio is going to be there whether we're on the list or not, but you better put us on the list.
No, and like that's one of the big reasons why I actually called in too, was, you know, I feel like it was kind of misunderstood, and you guys were taking other people's words as my own. And I just don't want that confusion to be there, and I don't want anyone to think that I'm downplaying this event either. You know, I am all for every cannabis-related event we can have, period, because there are not enough places for like-minded patients to get together and share their medicine. Now,
that's what's up.
If this, yeah, fuck yeah.
Well, feel free to call in next time you have a new product.
Yeah, so, and if this was a event that was happening next to a MIPS kitchen, okay, where they put in a big glass wall, all right, and it was a different address from the MIPS kitchen, so people could smoke on site and have a great time, but they had a big glass wall where they could literally show through this glass wall in the MIPS kitchen how to make wax, how to make shatter, how to make butter. That would be amazing. And you know what? It'd be legal. And that's all I ask. You know, don't skirt the law. Walk the line. You know, walk the line, do the dance, learn the rules, and then do your events. Don't just say fuck it and throw it out there and hope it sticks.
All right. And on that note, AJ, I'm going to let the phone lines open up because they are bubbling. So I know there's some people out there want to get some words in. I'm going to let them get in. I want to tell you, AJ, thank you very much for, man, you gave us so much information. Just thank you for the good call in. And our line's open for you to call in anytime you want to. Most definitely we will see you at Thanksgiving.
Hell yeah.
Bring your food, people. Medicated and non-medicated.
11:30, 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. Get there early for all the good treats.
Alrighty, so you have a good day, AJ.
Thank you guys. Love you guys so much, and we'll talk to you soon.
Love you too, brother. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Now, y'all seen a very passionate AJ today. Like, this most passionate I've ever saw AJ on the phones with me. Like, I deal with AJ a lot. And this is the most passionate I've seen him. Like, he went into a lot of situations where anybody that stays tuned with Blunt Radio know we've had a lot of controversial. Whoa, phone lines is ringing already. One Blunt Radio.
Hey, what's going on, Teddy?
What's happening? Oh shit, Thurlow Weed.
Yeah. I had to at least get on and call and say something a little bit.
Well, how you doing today, my brother? Like I said, the doors are open. When I put the post up today, and I made sure I tagged everyone that I wanted to make sure that everyone had a chance to speak their opinions, and everybody's heard ours. We went in really heavy early on, and I think me and my co-host had a great debate about everything that's out there. So I'd love to hear your side of it. Like, as you seen, I explained the readings of the cup, because you remember when I came by and I was like, I thought it was live blasting, and you corrected me, in which I told you I had to make sure I told my listeners exactly what we found out, and when we came down to the shop, that there's no BHO being blown on site, that none of the above of what's being put out is perceived to be put out is not correct. So let me let you chime in on just your place, because like I said, I woke up to see 76 comments, and a lot of the comments to me was disturbing, because as you see, my post is a black eye to the community for a lot of people that just won't just come in the back and just sit down and have a conversation.
You know, I can't say I'm better than anyone, because, you know, God created us all equal for one. If you look at my wall, I've posted numerous times in the last several months that if anybody has an issue with me or anything that they've heard, my doors are open at the shop to come squash it, because, you know what, I don't like waking up every day and seeing that shit either. I don't. There's people here in the Colorado cannabis community that have shunned me. The Colorado cannabis community is not the only community, for one, and it's not the whole community in the nation. And in my mind, cannabis legalization isn't just about Colorado, it's about the whole nation.
Correct.
And I've got a large amount of followers on the West Coast from the tour that I did last year. And, you know, from that tour, afterwards, I ended up getting, you know, another company promised something that didn't come through, made me look like an ass, and I got stuck in Colorado with not much money. So, you know, I called AJ this would be one of the things to talk about for a pizza. And I figured, since he had done advertising through my company for 12 months or so, and I had receipts for only 3 months of payments, because, see, he was paying $50 a month, but most of those months he couldn't even afford that $50 a month. So he's giving me hundreds of dollars towards advertising. No, he gave me about $150. I've got receipts to prove, and the rest was free advertising I gave him. So he paid for 3 months, and I gave him approximately 9 months. He got us one pizza, which I offered to repay back, and he said, no, it's okay, that's what he does. He helps out the community. Cool, we all try to help out the community, you know. Let's go ahead and address, well, first I want to address the X-Cup stuff, okay? Originally, see, our shop sits on 2 acres, okay, multiple buildings, outside areas. Originally, it was going to be done here, not just in this building, but in the whole 2 acres that's here. So we would really be able to do live blasting far enough away from people that they would actually be able to see it, probably watch it on closed-circuit TV. But since things like that didn't happen and we had to do it at our new factory, things changed. We're not going to blow blasting inside, because as there was a place downtown, or not downtown, but in Colorado Springs, the 710 Club or whatever, that AJ frequented oftenly, that actually blew had a mishap for blasting wax inside. So, that was something that he was supporting, and they were actually blowing wax inside and actually did it. It actually had a mishap with it with people inside, and it wasn't the only time that they were doing it. So, we already understand that through our knowledge and then obviously through other people's mistakes, but you just don't blast butane inside unless it's in a closed circuit system. Oh, which I've got too. So if I wanted to blast live at the event, I actually could, because I have a closed circuit container that can do it outside over 100 feet away from people, and they can watch, and it's not dangerous at all. But we still opted not to do that, even though the news wanted to go ahead and show it. AJ's event that he says that he doesn't is completely legal. I actually got 4 or 5 people down there that know of people that have booths and hand out stuff there. They don't even have red cards, much less a company in the industry, and they're handing out the apps. And we've got somebody here at the shop that's been into 5 or 6 of his events, and he's doesn't even have a red card. So like all of that stuff that he says isn't true. You know what I'm saying? And there were some stuff at the beginning that we wanted to do. We had it set up to where we would be able to do it, but because things changed, that's why you saw it at first, and that's why you don't see it, because it changed. Not because of what people said, but because we knew we couldn't do it inside, and because our venue had to change. The event got so big. It started out as a small, and still is private, see? It started out as a small matchmaking contest between local people here in the shop. But
so it is a private event. It's not a public event.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, and you not just anybody can enter, all of that stuff. Now, we've spoke with our lawyer multiple times, Chris Murphy from Nightline, who contacted me. Now, this event grew to this. Freddie, how often can you call up Nightline and say, hey, do an hour-long story on this? And they're just going to drop everything and do a story on it. Right. And the producer's going to call you 5 times a day for 2 months. They don't do that, Freddie. You know that. They have to want it. And I sat down with this guy, or I spoke with this guy. I'm physically sat down with him, so that'd be a lie, but I sat down with him on the phone. We've talked many times. He's talked with my lawyer. I've talked with my lawyer. The lawyer thinks it's a friggin' amazing thing, a great educational opportunity. Now there is a dab-a-thon. People have expressed, and this is something I'm glad I get a chance to make clear.
Okay.
But people have expressed, Solo, why are you promoting dabbing till you puke or dabbing till you pass out? That's not cool.
I saw that.
Okay. You frequented multiple times the Bongathon.
I didn't see it on your page. I didn't see that you promoted dabbing till you throw out. I didn't read that.
No, because if you actually look at the rules, if you puke, you're disqualified. If you pass out, you're disqualified. We're not. Here's the thing: you got to be able to do it and hold your mud. It's just like, it's essentially the same thing as the Bongathon.
Right.
And those people are behind us. They're there. They're going to dabs. Denver's absolute best separation is going to be there with a table. You know what I'm saying? Handing out stuff. Now, see, he mixed a lot of things. He compared this event to his meet and greet. But here's the thing, and he said that it's okay for High Times Cannabis Cup. It's okay for the 710 Cup, which he was very much a part of in promoting, and this Secret Cup, which he was very much a part of in promoting, and this falls into the same category. So how is it okay for High Times? How is it okay for 710? How is it okay for the Secret Cup, but when Solo wants to do it, it's illegal, and da-da-da. If the police come to our event, it's because somebody called them. And AJ's been known for calling the cops, and to address the issue of a narc. I'm sorry. Here in the community, in these days, or not even in the community, in the world these days, if you call the cops on somebody, you're labeled a narc, regardless if you had a justifiable right in your mind or their mind or somebody else's mind. If you do that, you're called a narc. Now, I didn't even straight up say he was a narc. If you go back and look at the post, I just said he had the cops calling my place. I never, and let's go back to this with Louis Zarobnik and AJ Hashman. When I first accepted it, now I dealt with something that you mentioned on here, Freddie, and I've dealt with it too, okay? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm right here. I'm listening in.
Okay.
I'm right here with you. Hey, as you see, I let AJ talk. You see, I let AJ talk, and so I just want to make sure that I want to make sure everyone gets to get their side of the stories out, and I'm not interjecting and cut anything off that stops you from getting your side of the story out, because anytime 76 people hear the comment, I don't want to kind of put my shadow on anything.
As you mentioned earlier, as an entertainment company and doing my radio show, too, ran into people saying, hey, if you work with them, we're not going to work with you. And you know what? I didn't play that route. AJ was right. AJ was the first thing advertiser for the new No Excuses Entertainment, okay? I went to M2J Media Group. I had to go do a year in jail for a DUI for weed. And as you know, I came back out. I worked with you for a little bit, and then I went ahead, and I'm just me who does my thing. You know, we can work together, but so I started it. So, yeah, he was the first paid advertiser, right on. He also had his troubles, and I gave him free advertising. But here's the thing. When I first started promoting him, people called me and said, hey, it's not good. He doesn't make good hash. He won't get his hash tested. I didn't know this about him. I said, well, you want to know what? I'm an entertainment company and a media company, and I work with everybody. And AJ hasn't done anything to me for me to do anything. So, but Louis Arobnik called me, and I'm like, and I dealt with him, and I found out during, and I don't, you know what? I do not fucking tolerate or like any of those things that he did. I have to say this. He does not have a justifiable right, but AJ took that money. It was at a deadline. He had to get the money turned in for his business, or his business wouldn't have made it because there was a moratorium or something. Remember, this was like 4 years ago when the laws first changed, HB 1284 and SB 109 came out. And he literally had days. If he didn't get the money in, he was screwed. So he took the money, knowing it was from a felon, paid the stuff so he could make sure he had it, then turned around and said, nope, you're not going to be a business partner, and borrowed and got money from everybody to turn around and then pay him off so he couldn't say he stole money from him. So yes, AJ paid him back, but he took the money knowing it was from a felon, but also knowing that if he didn't take that money at that time, his business wouldn't have made it because he was on a deadline. So to me, that's shady. But you want to know what? I saw proof of this. Proof spelled out. That's why Louis Arobnik owns AtHomeBake.com instead of AtHomeBakeColorado.com, because he paid the money and he had the rights. So I saw all the paperwork, but still seeing all that paperwork, I chose to go ahead and continue working with AJ. Seeing that paperwork and AJ not being able to make a payment, I still worked with AJ. AJ says that people say I've lied, stolen, and I'm a thief. Well, if those people have something that I owe them, then come to my shop and we'll go ahead and work it out. That's what I've said. Let's work stuff out. If you say that we've got an issue, let's go ahead and work stuff out. That's what it's supposed to be about. But AJ says that I'm not trustworthy. Then why did AJ, running his raffle and handling all the money for his raffle for multiple events of his, even when he got arrested at the event, I was the one that was responsible, went ahead and held his money for 2 or 3 days when he got out of jail and was able to get over. Plus, I made sure that the raffle went off without a hitch, even when everybody was packing up and splitting because Denver police were all over this event. Okay? Now, again, that had something to do with Louis Arobnik, and a little bit later comes the issue with the whole Super Bowl party. Here's the thing. As in the beginning, I told Louis Arobnik that I'm not taking those sides, and I told AJ I'm not taking any sides. So when AJ came to me months later, after hearing all of AJ calling the cops on Louis, and Louis calling the cops on AJ, and AJ calling the cops on Louis, and Louis calling the cops on AJ, and then all of a sudden I'm stuck in the middle of it at one of AJ Hashman's events where Louis the cops, and then all of a sudden I'm stuck in it again when Louis Arobnik shows up in an event that he was for Super Bowl for Club 64 that he was the only paying sponsor for, and AJ ran to his car whining and crying that he had a restraining order. Now, if there was a scuffle or if there was anything else, I didn't see it. AJ's back was by my, but where him and Louis Arobnik had their little fucking thing happen was way away from it, and I have witnesses, including Paulie Bolano, that were right there that I was not, okay? And when AJ contacted me, when AJ contacted me to talk to the fucking prosecutor, just like I had said numerous times before, I'm not fucking getting in the middle of it. And he
right, that's what I was going to ask you. That was the question I was going to ask you.
What I'm figuring is this.
Did you say that you was going to talk to the cops for him?
I don't figure that AJ, I said no, and AJ gave him my number. What I'm figuring is that AJ gave him the number because he figured that I would go ahead and talk to him, not remember, turn around and said I wasn't going to get involved. Then later when he asked me about it, and I said no, they already had their number and we're going to call anyways. And yes, I was gone. I was in Arizona. As you know, I travel multiple times. I got an office in California now. I mean, our business is expanding. If I did such shitty business and screwed so many people over, then how is my business and why is my business growing and expanding? If my shop is such a place, then why do we have almost 2,000 members? If AJ doesn't have no problem with TLE, why after he says I have no problem, a butt comes out, or when he's halfway nice or neutral, a butt comes out, and then he trashes everything he just said. You know as well as I do, when you say something and then say, but everything he just said before it was a line of fucking shit. That guy contradicted himself so many times in this interview, and my thing is I've got 5, 6 unbiased people sitting right downstairs in my shop that will sit there and tell you where he contradicted himself and where he lied. Am I good for this community? Who knows? Educating people. I'm doing good. I'm helping other businesses expand and people to make money. Okay? I've said if anybody has any issues with me, let's work it out.
So you're willing to sit down with
I don't want to fight. I'm willing to sit down with anybody, and if they don't want to sit down, cool. Don't let it come out of your mouth. But AJ said he let this go for months, and I've got multiple people, and you can look on the Facebook walls. You want to know what? Nothing was said about AJ for a long fucking time, and about 4 weeks ago or so, AJ came out of the middle of nowhere after saying nothing for so long and fucking flashed the X Cup. So he was the one that actually provoked this. Mr. I do good and I don't do anything wrong. He fucking provoked it by trashing the fucking event by not even knowing what was going on. He came out of nowhere and did that. He could have kept his mouth shut like he said. So if all those little lies are there, what else is he lying about? I got a list of people as well that say that AJ's hash is no good and this and that. But I'm not here to fucking bash. I have to get on this to defend myself, because if I don't, people are going to think what he said is true. So I've now spent an hour and a half, almost 2 hours now of my life, of time that I'm supposed to be printing shirts to get ready for this X Cup, to sit here and defend when all I wanted to do was have an event to have some people go ahead and have a contest. Get some people like you to play music. Have 3 days of fun and a good-ass time.
So, for all the people, for all the myths out there, is there anything that you want to get out? Because once again, I don't know what it is about today, but the phone lines is on fire. I just keep looking down, and as you hear the beeps, I'm like, and I mean, because like I said, I know, and yes, me and long hair, I believe it was a breakfast bowl that we might have had the show where when we first saw it and it said live blasting, and we hadn't been there, we was like, whoa.
It did, but we were taking all the precautions. We understand that. We know what happened at Club 710 or 710 Club. I don't need all these people in the community to tell me how unsafe it is. I'm not fucking stupid, guys.
Right, and see, and I knew that, and see, and that's what got me, is I was like, we talked, and I said, as well as I know Thurlow, that doesn't make sense for, I'm like, and I'm thinking, I'm like, live BHO, and then we're like, okay, and then I see, you remember that was the first question I asked you, I was like, I'm going to blow live? And he was like, no. And I was like, because I was just like,
check this out. Nightline time, you know what, when Nightline called me, I hung up the phone and I thought it was the greatest thing for the community. I thought for fucking sure the community would pull together and be like, you know what, we've got a chance to fucking educate these people. We've got a chance to fucking educate them. And now people say, oh, well, they're going to run what they want. Here's the thing. First, you have to talk with the producer for a very fucking long time and make your point very, very clear of what you want to get across. 2, they can only air what you allow them to get video of. That's it. They can't make it up. They can't go and fucking shoot a fake fucking video. Well, they could, but you see what I'm saying? Like, the chances of that are slim. They can only shoot what you give them.
Right. And you're not promoting until you throw up.
No, hell no. That's part of the rules that you don't. Now, Freddie, check this out. I'm jumping around a little. We've had the Dab Gauntlet since 710. We've had the Dab Gauntlet Challenge at our shop 3 or 4 months. Okay, out of that, we haven't had anybody throw up. Or actually, take that back. Nobody's passed out. One person puked because he was coughing too hard. He didn't pass out. He puked because he was coughing too hard. One, and I'm talking out of like almost 100 entries in 3 or 4 different Dap Gauntlet challenge events, and not one has passed out. Not one, because when they get to that point, they're like, dude, I'm done. It's not like drinking. It's not like and how many people say, oh, and still promote these fucking drinking games that you drink until you pass out or puke.
Right.
You know, we're not doing that. Look at the rules. So my thing is these people are saying comments about this event that are going to make people not want to come. Hell yeah. But the comments that you're making aren't real. You know?
Well, I'm glad I did the show today, and it seems as though everyone was calling in, and like I'm gonna tell you the same as I said to AJ, and like me and we've had our journey, and like I said, I've been talked to by some of the people that's up in the industry, which a year or so back made me look at my position like I can't be in that position, so I want to allow me to be in that, and like I encourage AJ and everyone else that we have to find a way to take these disputes to the backside, because the world's watching us, and it's just not a good look. And other people can say what they want, but it's really not a good look when they see CEOs of prominent companies out here and this newly built MMJ world, playing Jinsu Chop.
And that's what I'm saying. These people are out there blasting this event and sitting here telling me how bad it's going to look on the community, especially if it's going to be on air. One, why don't they support, pull together, and make sure it's good shit? Two, take it to the back, because all that shit is fucking public, so you know where the laugh is going to be on the fucking fight in the community.
Right.
They just made that look stupid, and I'm not going to let that air, but that's because I don't want to make the community look stupid. The thing is the community, people are looking at Colorado, but we also got to look at it too. That Colorado is not the only cannabis community.
Right.
It's not just about Colorado. And that's
right.
And that's what bothers me is there are people out there that call themselves cannabis activists but all they're worried about is Colorado. But cannabis activism is all around. It's all around. This nation doesn't have it legal. It's not up to Schedule 1.
Right.
And until that's done, we still, as calling ourselves cannabis activists, we still got a fucking job to do. And that job entitles education, because education is the only way that it's going to happen. Now, do we sit here and say, ABC Nightline, continue running these shit-ass stories about fucking dabs that you keep doing and making everybody scared? Or do we say, hey, you want to get the fucking low-down truth on this shit? Do you want to get some education about it and spread the correct shit instead of just what you want to and make people scared? Think about it.
Well, I dab and use RSOs because it helps my back and knees, and it helps me better than better than trees itself did. I can say that I use dabs because they ease more of my pain. So for me, dabbing and RSO pills are a great resource for me.
Because most of the people, when we started out, we wanted to keep it on the medical side. We now do have a separate THC only part of the competition, but we started out, and it was asked for by many people, especially the ones hearing if we could do something like that, because what we had as first place sativa, we're basically pitting butter and shatter and wax against each other. We're putting the different ones, non-solvent, against each other. Okay, so that way people can see what they like better. So it's not going to be like in some of the other ones where there is a separate shatter and there's going to be a best shatter and a separate butter and a best butter. No, we're going to see which is the top there, but one of our biggest things was highest CBD, and we're going to give an award for the highest CBD. Why? Because CBD is a very big medical part of it. You know what I'm saying? But the event you got to look to is not just medical, recreational. It has fun and spawned upon us too. Although there's not recreational shops, if you look at the law states that you can give cannabis away right now, up to 1 ounce, to somebody who's over the age of 21 or 21. You can give it to them. Okay? Currently, my shop, if you make a purchase of over $100 or more, we will give you either a free gram of wax or a free aid. Okay, we spoke with our lawyer. We spoke with the Adams County Sheriff's Department. Okay, who's also been through our shop, and we've been open since February. And there's other places that have been shut down that were open less time. There's other places that respond to open and never open. So I think and would have to say that we're doing something right. And there's actually another place on Colfax that's been doing it longer than us, that if you spend $30 or $40 in their shop, it's 4 strings, pipe and tobacco. I'll give them a promo. You spend $30 or $40 in their shop, and they give you 2 grams. Free. It's gift. You can gift people cannabis now. It's legal to. So as long as they're over 21. So
Okay.
I don't see where, 1, my shop is illegal, like you said, and 2, I don't see where my event is illegal, where it's okay for the 710 cup, it's okay for the secret cup, and it's okay for the high fat cannabis cup. But I would say if Thurlow wants to do it, it's illegal.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Hey, you wage good. I mean, food for thought, because I don't know what the secret. I didn't make it the secret this year because we was actually throwing a rally at the Capitol, so I didn't get to make it down to the secret cup, so I didn't get to see it. But every other event, I do attend because can't get good
They
news
said it was
stories.
good, and the secret's nationwide. The secret's doing it nationwide. They were actually supposed to do an East Coast one this year too, and as far as I know, there's not many East Coast states with medical cannabis laws, and they still got another one coming up in Denver in December. So my question still lies there. What's the difference?
So they're throwing multiple
you.
secret codes.
Yeah, they did them all over. I think they did one in California and Washington and Colorado, and then it's a national. They're gonna have a final from winners from all those different places here in Denver. So if you're making it in California and coming here, that's okay. But if you're making it here and entering it, it's not. I don't understand. Because mine, you can't make it out of state and bring it here.
That's crazy.
I'm just saying, just because it comes out of somebody's mouth doesn't mean it's
See, I
real.
didn't know that they was
Just because it comes
traveling.
out of my mouth doesn't mean it's real. All I'm saying is
I didn't know they
people
was
have done
traveling
good
all
things
over
in the
doing it,
community.
though.
People have done great things in the community, but come on, guys, it's not a pissing contest. It's not. Let's continue to educate people. Do you know how far we would get if we all worked together? Do you know how far we would get if
Well,
we
that's what I
all
was
worked
told.
together? The ones that could, and the ones that couldn't work together, if they just didn't say anything and didn't do anything and still worked with everybody else that they can work with, not basing it on who they're working with, we would get so much farther in this community. You've been preaching it for the 5 years I've been in the industry. I've been preaching it for the 5 years I've been in the industry. Do I always practice it? No. Am I guilty? Yes. Can I only get better? Yes. Do I realize this? Yes. Do I want to get better? Yes. And am I working too? Yes. That's
Well,
all I can do.
I can definitely say that, like I said earlier in my career, I was a victim of the opposite. But like I said, I had some prominent people that came to me about a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago, and it was like, dude, this is not like you. And it's not a good look for the industry for you guys to be in that position and doing what you guys are doing. And I took the position of, if you can't work with someone, don't work with them. And if you can better the situation in the community, then do as such. But I would rather spread the word and get as much out as possible. So I'd rather do as much as I can to be able to work with everyone in the community, because that's the personality that I am. I don't want to have no misfractions with anyone in the community. And I would just hope that, like I said, that everyone could take a lot of the outside things that's going on and find a way to either, like you said, like I'm either just don't coexist, or find a way that you guys can figure out how to fix problems and coexist. But I mean, I came from gangbanging, you know what I mean? And the stuff I see on text, people would have been punched in the mouth in my neighborhood growing up, because that stuff wouldn't have been acceptable. So I think that Facebook has become a manner of where things just come out because it's almost like a blanket. And I just wish that, we could find a way that we bring it in and take away all this. If you have a problem, just make the phone call. And if you can't fix it, then just figure, we're just not going to work, because January 1st, the world is coming here. And that's a fact, is that they're going to come here to enjoy this recreational world. And I believe that it's a way that we can make them enjoy all of our products and promote this market in a great light. And the worst thing you want them to do is go on Facebook when they're thinking of coming to Colorado and they're looking at people that throw great events and big events, and that's what they see.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm with you. I'm with you. You know, we've tried to be a part of. You have to excuse me when I dab because I've been standing patient. So. Yeah,
I need a dab. Set me up a dab too.
Yeah, it's ready.
Pause for the guys. You know, things don't always happen now. We want them so we can always move forward.
Yes, we can.
You know, I'm no better. Here's the thing. I know that people have said, and there's been, not just from AJ, but other people in the community have brought up, oh, well, they don't make extracts. They shouldn't be doing something like this. Here's the thing. When somebody like myself, who even says straight out, you know, I'm learning still. I'm still learning, but I've got a really good idea on how to do it. I've got some really good teachers and such like that. But when doing an event like this, and especially when ABC Nightline comes there and says, hey, you know, we want to give you an opportunity, then I believe that it's an opportunity for the community to pull together. My thing is can I explain the extraction process and such like that? Yeah. Will I be on ABC Nightline explaining that? No. The extraction artists will be the ones explaining that. Now, part of this, I wanted the best of the best to be part of this. Obviously, they should be the ones to teach. But
right.
Those people chose to bash because their name wasn't on the event, because they didn't get the opportunity, or because we shouldn't be doing extracts. So in other words, I shouldn't be educating people. Who's to say who I can and can't educate and about what? Then now that's
okay. I got a curious question
like
on that though.
cartel type thing in there.
Do you have to worry about this though? Because me being news and you being news, do you have to worry about Nightline taking the light of trying to look on the bad side of the independent extraction artists?
Yes. You know, I've thought about that, and that's something that I've even verbally spoke about with Chris Murphy, as well as my lawyer. And we've all very well much stated that the last thing that anybody wants to happen is for anything illegal to be done, or for anything illegal to come out, or for anybody to get in trouble for anything. This has been very, very clear from the get-go on my side. On
you know I'm a victim of...
Chris Murphy, the producer, is the first one who brought it up because he said this is the first thing. I'm spending all this time on this, and I don't want to go out there and shoot something that's illegal, because guess what? Then it's a waste of time because I cannot air it, because I'm not going to get anybody in trouble.
Right, because, you know, I'm a victim of an interview and the police at my house.
I got that in writing.
So, you know, I am, you know, I'm abreast of that. So I'm always going to be super cautious of the media in that fact because I was a victim. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with you, and I could probably even find the email and send it over to you. I like to put proof behind stuff that I say when I need to. But yeah, I got it in writing that he doesn't want that to happen, and it won't happen. That's
a good thing.
That's why we've done the due diligence that we've done.
Well,
it's because we show everybody's saying they didn't do it, but I don't know. And then if I'm the last thing on his mind, then how the hell does he know what I've done and haven't done?
Well, like I said, I didn't just give my opinion today. I read the statement that was on Facebook. I read your event. I read all the particulars from your event, so everyone heard exactly what your event page says. So it's seen the disparity in which the post said and what actually the event page says, because the event page says it's not going to be no live blowing. The event says it shows pictures of people that's already turned their product in and that it's getting tested, and that's what I read out. So people see both sides of it. But the thing is like I said, like to me, you know, I got a fondness for both of you guys. You know what I'm saying? I've known both of you guys a very long time in this industry. And, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, we cover everything. We want to bring our fans everything out there, and it's a travesty when you don't cover one event from another. And just like I told AJ, I mean, like, we as Blunt Radio have been on the victim side both ways, because we've had some people that said, I don't want to advertise with you guys because you deal with AJ. And we've had some people that say, we don't want to advertise with you guys because you're doing a Thurlow show. So we've been on the side of best of both worlds, you could say, you know. And like I told them, we will not allow not one business to tell us as a radio station who we could cover, because if we do, we become no better than ABC, CBS, NBC, and you can just tune in on because we're puppets. And we want to allow ourselves to be that. So, in that note, you know what I'm saying, what do you think of people out there that just think that possibly that from the Medicated Chef show to this show, what things is it that you possibly changed to make this event not have the same struggle that you had at the end of that event?
Okay, and there are some things that I do need to address about that I didn't get to talk about as well. Okay, there were some talk about time and such like that. Now, if I look back long enough, now both AJ has at one point in time, currently we're not, but at one point in time, I had AJ blocked on Facebook, AJ had me blocked on Facebook, so I haven't. It's not on the front, but again, I like proof, so I'd have to scroll back to those messages. But after the event, what AJ told me in a nutshell was, Solo, I think that it could have been better on times, and next time, you know, I think you'll be able to work that out. But for my first event, is what he said, he goes, I didn't even get a turnout like that. He goes, and with some help and a little more preparation, I would be glad to work on the next one with you. Now, all this has changed because the statement that I made because of the cops. Now, this has all changed, of course, you know. Now I'm the worst person in the world, all because of that. But it was still after that he had me handling his money for his raffles and stuff like that. So, anyway, and we have to address what he said about Chef Nesbitt, too. Now, I can't speak too much on this because there are current lawsuits going on, but in a nutshell, all of the people that competed, and this is again on proof, we have a signed document from Chef Nesbitt, and one of the things that it says is if they win, that the $5,000 payment will be paid out after filming the Medicated Chef show, because, see, the whole point of the Medicated Chef was to film the show. So if I pay $5,000 and you don't shoot the show, then I'm pretty much fucked. So they all knew from the beginning that they weren't walking out of there that night with $5,000 cash. They all fucking knew it straight up that they were going to have to wait until after they shot the show. Chef Fred Nesbitt was last because we flew Chef Nesbitt out there and we really didn't know if we should actually let the guy cook and make it a public thing. We figured we would kind of save face and make it as least public as possible. But again, we have proof because there were other people from the event, like other contestants from the event there when this happened. And this is what happened. The night before the event, Chef Fred Nesbitt was out with staff of ours and asked them for ecstasy pills, which blatantly breaks the contract that we have a copy of that he went ahead and signed beforehand. So by asking, he was technically disqualified the night beforehand. We were wondering if we should save face and just let him cook after he'd already been out there and then go ahead and let him know afterwards, or if we should just go ahead and say it right there on the stage. So we went ahead and let him cook. Afterwards, when we had a meeting with all of the people that actually were in the contest at my house, when Nesbitt came there and he heard of the disqualification, he then tried to fight me at my house. And we have witnesses, again, all the contestants that entered the contest that were there, the 5 ones that were cooking, we have them all as witnesses as well. So again, AJ just publicly talk about something he heard only secondhand from Nesbitt. Of course, she's going to have to save face there, but we've got documents, we've got people that will be testifying in court, all kinds of shit. I might even get in trouble for as much as I said, but who cares? The point is he just tried to bash something and he knew absolutely nothing about it. Now, to make sure that that doesn't happen again, one, The Meditative Chef was the first event type or a contest type of event that I had done. And I learned a lot from that. This one, again, is a little bit different, but essentially it's a contest. So I went ahead and took steps farther. I promoted it for a month longer. I got everything set up beforehand. The Meditative Chef we've been promoting for 2 months before I even had the website. So we started with all that stuff from the beginning. So we've already taken what we learned from the Meditative Chef contest to go ahead and make this one better to assure that we don't have issues like we did at the last or at the Meditative Chef contest.
Okay. Because, I mean, we know that, from event to event is definitely growth, and we all have to learn from one event to another event. So I was just definitely a curious question. And from one event to another, how much growth had came from the situation? So that's a good deal.
We learned a lot, and a lot of it was in preparation. I'm used to doing club concert promotions, which if you've got a good 6 to 9 weeks, you can do a good thing. But I gave it with the Meditative Chef. I gave it 3 months, thinking that was enough, and it wasn't. And we've already with this event given it 4 months instead of 3. We have less contestants than what we did for the Meditative Chef. So just having that much time and then not having as many contestants as we did there, it's helped us to make this event go smoother and the planning smoother.
Well, that's good to hear. So why don't you let everybody know what's happening coming up and give them all the highlights of the event.
Hey, guys. If you're still wondering what it's going to be like, go check out ColoradoXStuff.com. We've got my boy, Dr. DB Kush, Freddie, and his man, A1 from One Bullet Radio. That's going to be performing out there. We've got Real One that's coming up. We're bringing all the way out from California to perform his Dab With Me, and that's actually what the same song for the event is Dab With Me. We got Pony Boy from Los Marijuanas coming out to perform and to do some hosting. We got my boy Johnny Richter, formerly from the Cottonmouth Kings. He's now branched off to do his own thing. And Badass Glass Blower that's going to be coming out and doing some hosting and showing with everybody and dabbing out. We've got Lush Lighting that's a great sponsor. We've got Never Civil Productions bringing the stages, all the sound out, enough to rock the people all the way in Texas. So that's going to be a nice thing. We've got 35 or 40 different booths that are going to be out there. We got Regal custom tables, so if you're looking for a custom trim table, Canopages, Puking Beagles doing the sick-ass, all quartz dabbing rig for the first place winner, and some custom BHO tubes. Emerge from Puff and Dabs is going to have some custom torches that are going to be raffled off in the exclusive VIP raffle. As I stated before, Dabs, Denver's absolute best separations, is going to be providing all of the wax for the Dabathon contest, and they're going to be dabbing people out. Ganja Group's going to be there. Hyperspace Goods has got both of our hat pins with special editions, so you're going to be able to get some of those there. C4 CPR is going to be there. Miss Audrey Hatfield, great person. You're going to be able to grab the Wonder Worm or pick up your grassroots hats. Don't forget Christensen Farms, learn how to grow like a pro. Tan Labs is going to be doing all the testing. And Silica Rigs is going to be out there, or Silica Glass is going to be out there. Malachi Glass and Roan Glass are going to be doing specials on glass, and they're doing custom rigs for giveaways for the VIP raffle. We've got a VIP dinner that's going to be catered by Chipotle. We've got a judge dinner that's going to be catered by a barbecue place. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. Like I said, live performances. Craig Baresh from the American Cannabis Coalition is going to speak. Matt Johnson from Lush Lighting is going to speak. I'm going to speak. And Rev Baker is going to speak as well. So it's just going to be a lot of fun, a lot of dads, a lot of good music, a great time.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
This Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 11 a.m. to 12 a.m., Friday and Saturday until about 10 o'clock at night on Sunday. Come check it out, guys. Right now you can get one-day passes for $20. Full 3-day passes, general admission, very inexpensive, $42. VIP for all 3 days is $125. You get a VIP gift bag, and you get access to the VIP area, VIP dinner. and a ton of other stuff. It's going to be a big time. So get your tickets online. If you don't get them at the day of the event, the general admission goes up to $55, and they'll probably be stopping the VIP cell.
Wow. Man, I tell you what, it's been a hell of a show, man. We've had, it seem like, one hell of a show each week to kick off the week or something, and last week it was the hip hoppers. This week it's the activists.
I got to plug this too. Don't forget to check out a couple new things we got going on. We recently purchased Token Tops. So you like our Token Tops Facebook page, go to tokentops.com. We're working to make it the largest cannabis t-shirt-based website out there. So if you've got a cannabis t-shirt you want done, we do screen printing. What's badass is if you have a design and you come to us and you want it screen printed, we will screen print one if you want, take a picture, throw it up on the website, sign a contract with you. Anybody who buys that shirt, you guys get a few dollars off of it. We just make it as they order them online and ship them to them. And at the end of each month, you guys get a check for however many shirts you sold. So we're doing that for businesses to be able to help them. Because Bruce from the Daily Doobie came to us to get some shirts done. He's going through a different company that does something similar to that. But we are going to make some shirts for him for pictures and such like that. So what we did is we set up a program to be able to offer to companies. If you do that, we also give your screen printing at a lower cost.
Okay.
And then we've got KDAB TV, the new YouTube TV channel that you can check out, wholesaledabbingsupply.com. All the great dabbing equipment that you need at a great fucking price. We got 21 websites now.
21?
21. And we're going to be closing on 59.27 acres of farmland in like the next month and a half. Old alfalfa farmland.
That's what's up. Congratulations.
Thank you. We're linking up with good people and getting help from great people in the community, like Michelle LeMay, whose I3 booth is also going to be at the Colorado X Cup, collecting donations and building awareness for the vote on Initiative 3 coming up next year.
Yes.
So we're doing a lot to do what we can to help out the community. You guys are going to be there repping your stuff. You guys are going to have your big bus out there, so I'm freaking stoked. I really am.
So are we. So on that note, man, we're going to let you get back to work, Tholo. Thank you for calling in. I'm glad that you was listening in and I wanted to make sure I tagged everyone because I didn't want anybody to say, oh, I just got one person's opinion. So I made sure I tagged both of y'all, and if you guys was listening in, then both of you chime in, and ironically, both of y'all was listening in, so both of y'all called in. So for the fans, I hope you guys got everything you wanted to hear. If you had any questions, I hope they got answered. And for all the other stuff that came out today, I hope you guys do what's best for you, which is let it go out your ears and worry about the patients. And the patients enjoy the great medication that the state has and the good businesses like 24-Hour Pipe and Tobacco and At Home Baked, where you can go get wonderful brownies and good stuff. Enjoy both products because both people are owners in our community and they support them.
I ain't gonna front, and I'm not gonna lie. The At Home Baked has are fucking bomb. They are. The blondies are fucking. Whether they're medicated or not, the motherfuckers are good. Seriously, I'm not gonna lie. I don't bash this product at all. This product's fucking good. It is, and I even tell people about it. We actually still have At Home Baked stickers up around the shop. Like this product's good.
Yes.
So,
yes.
All right, you guys. Well, good. I want to thank you so much for getting a chance to get that air out. I'm sure that AJ feels a bit better. I feel a bit better, and I just want no more negativity. I'm going to do better to not bring it up. If somebody brings it to me, I'll delete it. If they bring it to me in a message, I'm not going to fucking repost the shit. I'm just going to do better to fucking let it go in one ear and out the other.
And that's a good thing. And
Yes, it is.
I mean, like I say, for me, everyone knows I'm boisterous, but I do that daily, doing my best to always make sure that I want to be that person that when they look at me in the community, then they're going to look at me as the guy that's stirring the pot, but I'm always bringing it up. So, I mean, hopefully everyone else sees it in the same manner. And thanks for calling in, Thurlow.
Thank you, brother.
And I'm just going to open the lines up. I'll see y'all this week. And tell your boy Cameron, he's the shit. I like him. Cameron Humanity is the shit. He had the best opinion that came out independently. Now it's 10:30. Oh, my phone lines are blowing up, guys. They won't stop ringing. We've had AJ on the line. We've had Thurno on the line. And we've had Miss Green Jeans, Rosemary on the line. And she's all the way from Rock Hill, waking up like she was in Rock Hill, woke up like, wow, this is what I had to hear.
Right.
So, I mean, on that note, the phone's just ringing. I'm going to leave the phone lines open for a half a second. I know Jim wants to say something. I'm about to jump up. And happy Veterans Day again. God damn it. I want to have something.
I'm hungry,
See
man.
what you man?
Yeah, I like that. Where'd you guys get that from?
Man, I'm going to give y'all a tad of music, actually. And I'm going to give the phone a chance.
For the first time today.
Like, I'm going to give them one song. And because we got
phone still ringing?
Oh, man. Phone still, yeah. Yeah, it's been,
Yeah, I was tuned in at the house, man.
it was going in, man. It's going in. Y'all get this one.
This one right here sound like for real.
Smoking back to back like a train track. We be on the other side where them lanes at. Pulling up in foreigns where it's covered snowing. Yeah, it's still Long Beach, but I fucks with Oakland. I tell her bust it open. She tell me no problem. She know I'm really from the hood. I started from the bottom. Bitch can't swim, then she probably drowning. I can't save a hoe, but I can save 1,000. Flip it in the fire, make it 10 feet. I think I'm Kobe Bryant, feel like Yao Man. Real nigga, I ain't gotta say it. I let my watch talk for me, call it sign language. Niggas pow, they don't catch phase. Chopper, lamb down, see the AK. I'm just trying to function while they funkin'. These drinks setting in and your baby mama stunning. Yeezys on the white couch, run the whole gang. Tell your coach, keep his timeouts. Niggas hating on me, fuck boy, let me find out. Shit is on site, on purpose, get off my cloud. Now, I'm something like a G in these streets, you'll see when you ask about me. Never bitch, never snitch, never switch, get rich before I D.I.E. When you ask about me, 100 on the dash, moving fast, whiplash, and the kick so bad. When you ask about me, everything I touch turn gold. If it ain't moving, then I put it on the road. I kept it a buck, guess it's never enough. Niggas want me to fail, hoes want me to fuck. Call me down on my luck, out of town with the schmucks. In the mix with the mob, trying to give me a cut. I ain't talking to tape 'em, we don't talk to the neighbors. Shit is World War III if I'm calling in favors. I'm only the rap guy, man, my niggas is dangerous. Nah, no security, just them niggas I came with. They was talking tough first, now they making arrangements. What's with all the explaining? Randy Tito Jermaine, better stay in your lane when I be ballin' Bogarden. I be gassing this arson, put your face on the carton. I'm so west with the jargon, I'm the best with the callous. Hard work and the talent, trying to find me a balance. The gang need me so bad, they ain't meeting the challenge. We call it a dress, they callin' it fashion. Fuck it, I'ma do me, my nigga was happening. Tell the kids you can get it, just gotta imagine. Fuck it, I'ma do me, my nigga was happening. Tell the kids you can get it, just gotta imagine. I'm something like a G in these streets, you'll see when you ask about me. Never bitch, never snitch, never switch, get rich before I D.I.E. When you ask about me, 100 on the dash, moving fast, whiplash, and the chick so bad. When you ask about me, everything I touch turn gold. If it ain't moving, then I put it on the road. When you ask about me,
When you ask about me, when you ask about me, when you ask about me, when you ask about me, when you ask about me, something like a G in these streets, you'll see, you'll see. I'm something like a G in these streets, you'll see, you'll see. I'm something like a G in these streets, you'll see when you ask about me. Everything I touch turn gold. If it ain't moving, then I put it on the road.
Colorado 2014. Ballot Initiative 3.
prohibit penalties for possession of cannabis. Shall that be an amendment to the Colorado State Constitution directing the judiciary branch of all governing bodies in the state of Colorado to prohibit their courts from imposing any fine or sentence for the possession of cannabis? Yes. Team One Blunt Radio supports and backs Ballot Initiative 3. Stop penalties for the possession of cannabis. Make it right. Put the nail in the coffin. Every dollar goes towards 100,000 signatures, and we need 100,000 signatures to get this on the ballot. Call 303-886-7998. That's 303-886-7998. Or you can go to reliefforpossessions.web.com. That's reliefforpossession.web.com. Put the nail in the coffin and make it right. Initiative 3, 2014. Colorado support. All right, y'all, we back. It's the midday breakfast. The breakfast.
It's almost the midday.
It's almost the midday breakfast. Yes, it is. Hey,
breakfast.
Yes. Hey, we got AJ back on the line. He called back in. He said he wanted to say something real quick. So I wanted to make sure I opened it back up. So for all y'all tuned in, we got AJ the Hashman back in.
Yeah, I just wanted to step up and say, that's big of him to give our products a shout out because they are amazing products and we do make great hash, and we all know that there'll be haters out there if you're doing something right. And I'm glad that he's taken the due diligence to research the event and get things done. I did not know that he had done such due diligence and they had worked so much with Nightline. And I just want to say that I am willing to squash all this. I was happy to be involved last year with the Medicaid Chef. Like I said, it's been a dream of mine to have those types of competitions for a long time. So, more power to you if you can get it going. And, let's just move forward as a community. I don't want him talking bad about me. I don't want to be talking bad about him. And that's really what I just always tried to do. So, I'm happy to just sort of squash it and move on from here.
And I'm happy that we could have this show where it could come out to this outcome, because that was the whole premise of when we did the show. And like I said when I started, is that, that just even if it was conversation, I felt like the conversation should be done on the back end, because like as you see me and Thurlow as we talk now, and everyone knows it's very well documented what me and Thurlow went through. So I'm not a guy on the outside looking in on none of the situations. I was a person that was right in the middle of a lot of it, you know what I mean? So as a couple of the elders in the industry came to me and said, it's just in the position that we hold, a lot of people are in places where they listen or attend our events. We have a lot more power than a lot of other people in the community because we reach so many people.
Yeah.
And that's when I was asked that even if I had these feelings, if I could not put these feelings so publicly because of what everybody else saw. And that's what a year and a half ago I sat back, and if people noticed, I declined to make statements anymore, simply because of some of the elders that came to me, because I respected those people that actually came to me and said that to me. And that's why sometimes now I just kind of follow up what an elder did to me, so I extend that same olive branch of saying, is there another way that we can do this other than keep it in the public?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I hear you. And like I said, I'm all for moving forward as a community because we can get a lot more accomplished together than apart. And, if anyone does want to see our test results, we do publish those.
Bang!
Yeah. 87.3% THC with our water hash, so yeah, it's definitely shit.
That's what's up.
So, yeah, so, and we had just had a very recent test last month on 9/15 that came back at close to 84% between our THC and CBD. So we're pretty proud of our hash. And you guys know, if you're doing something right, there's going to be people trying to diss you on it.
Right.
So, yeah, look for AJ's hash, I'm sure, around. Pharmaceuticals usually has it. Ganja Gourmet usually has it. And make your own decision on that.
And Dr. Kish usually keeps him a box at his crib for my people that come through. And I like to keep my radio people a blondie or a brownie or something. So, it's part of our edible choice at the Blunt Radio. I definitely got to say that. We keep them in the cupboard.
Hell yeah, and you guys, we got to get you guys some of the sticks too, because
Yes,
people have been going crazy over those, man. I mean, literally the anti-inflammation, the pain relief. Real patients have been going out of their way to tell me what a difference I'm making. And to tell you the truth, all this is kind of shit to me compared to that. No offense to you guys by any means,
right, but
or
what I said
or anything,
but the patients. It's the patients.
It's the reason why I do it. Yeah, I don't do this for my events. I don't do this, for my fun. I do this for my back and for the people that I know it helps. Right. And that's where I think all of us are coming from. And sadly, it's kind of weird being outside of the industry for you guys because you don't get to see a lot of that. But I mean, with me directly, it amazes me, and I don't care how many people are out there, saying that it's not good, because what really matters to me are those people that are constantly telling me, thank you so much, keep doing what you're doing, you're the only person that makes a difference. And that's what warms my heart and makes me up every morning, besides my son, and besides, the fact that I'm just trying to make all my dreams come true with, helping people through cannabis and helping the knowledge of cannabis grow throughout our city, our state, our country, our world, and sort of being on the forefront of all this. I've been on the forefront of events since the beginning. As you guys all know, the first events I was involved with were the Caregivers Cups, thrown by Tim Tipton. Yeah. And that's what gave me the inspiration for these cannabis events. And, big shout out to Tim and the Caregivers Cup, for sort of starting the ball rolling. Right. And then when they decided not to do anymore, I took it and ran with it because I saw the potential there, and I saw the benefit directly to patients, and how I could change it into an event that wasn't just for shops, that was for shops, that was for edible companies, that was for patients, that was for the entire community. And I worked really hard to make that happen. And like I said, as long as he's doing his due diligence and making sure that he's not breaking laws and not gonna, put a bad mark on this industry, put a bad reflection on this industry, put a bad media reflection on this industry, then I'm fine with it. I don't exactly know how it's legal with the new recreational laws, because I do know technically with the recreational laws that are now in place, you need to be blasting in a MIPS facility. That's one of their big things. But, if he's figured it out, then that's great. And, I do support other similar events. I support the Secret Cup because, Dan DeSalle has been a good friend of mine since the beginning. We've both been through just tons of crap in this industry together, and we both kept our heads up and been successful in our own rights. And, he hosts good events. He puts stuff together well, and, and he's really a pillar in the dab community, kind of where I'm a pillar in simply the community, I feel, where, I'm happy to support the things that he does, and that's the reason why I'm involved in, the Dabs of Denver, the Secret Cups, things like that. But on the same note, you'll never see my edible company giving things away there, because I technically can't do that recreationally.
Right.
So, I do support the events, and I do help him promote the events, but we don't give things away at the events besides stickers and information and, smoking with people, essentially, because we can't yet. You can't give stuff away, period. Like he said, you can give away an ounce legally person to person, and you can possess an ounce legally. You can't have any type of transaction, though, period, involved. And that's kind of the weird legal thing that's going on. You can grow your own and have an ounce on you. You can grow your own and give that to a friend, but you can't, no money can change hands when you're giving away free cannabis. Like, that's a very red area. So I just wanted to be really careful about all that, and definitely keep talking to his lawyer, and I wish them all the luck in the world, and I hope their event goes great this weekend. And if he doesn't mind, I'd love for them to give some shout-outs to the meet and greet when they're having their event, and also our world's biggest dab competition. So, like I said, I just want to move on, and I'm happy to put it behind us directly to Thurlow, and let's just build together instead of breaking down.
Man, great words, man. And it was a big man to call in and just let it go. And from me to you, man, SOS, brother. Smoke one, son. For real, because that's what it's about. And that's what the patients and that's what the people, I mean, I believe that right now a lot of people just out there that's really testosterone up, I believe they needed to hear that. You know what I'm saying? I believe they needed to hear it more than anybody else because they're moving on you and Thurlow's movement. Like Thurlow's people, they're staunched and they're there. And in the same token, your people's in the same mode. So I believe they needed to see you two just to be able to say, hey, you know, let's go forward for the community. And when everyone was working together, it does really make a better cohesive unit for us to fight these laws than when everybody is not able to communicate well. Because there's no way we're going to fight these laws if half the people's half the people and a quarter of the people's a quarter of the people. We're going to have to find a way to unite.
Totally. Well, and you know, he helped me out with my meet and greets for a while, doing the raffles and things. And, you know, I do remember all that. And I did consider him a good friend at that time. But, and it really kind of offends me that he said for calling the cops. You know, the only reason I ever called the cops was because someone threatened my life. Right. I mean, who wouldn't call the cops, to tell you the truth?
I mean, when the kid came involved and you going, if things went, you know, you said you taking pictures of the kids and stuff like that. Well, exactly. Yes, that is a far breach across the line, and I mean, I'm
not scared of the cops. I mean, we all have an innate fear of the cops.
AJ, you couldn't be too scared of the cops.
the guy that was going to be arresting me, I went in his office and talked to him on purpose. Right. You know, because I'm not. You know, the cops that protect us. That's really their basic role. And sure, sometimes they lock people up for no reason, and sure, a lot of the time they're out on a witch hunt for cannabis, but now those things are changing, and they understand that, and we need to understand that too.
Yes.
And when messed up stuff happens, when people threaten you, when, you know, it's not like back in the day. It's not like back in the day. You know, back in the day, we could settle it with our fists. You know, I could go over there, I could beat the crap out of them and be done with it. But now there's lawyers, there's suing, there's all kinds of crazy shit involved, and it just doesn't happen like that. You know, so if someone threatens you, you call the cops. Right. You know, plain and simple, and you get it on record, and then if they kill you, that's the person. And that's just how I've always lived my life, you know, and trying best not to fear the cops. And I think our community really needs to understand that, is that cops aren't out to get us. Cops aren't out to shut us down. As long as we do our due diligence and we keep them in the loop, they're behind us 100%. You know, they've said to me multiple times, if you ever need us at your event, don't hesitate to call. You know, we're there for you because we know you're doing it the right way. That's you know, and if he's talked to the Adams County Sheriff, then because he's in Adams County.
Right.
And, you know, frankly, it's kind of tough for me to fathom that, considering that Adams County is banning recreational use.
Right.
So I have no idea how he would talk to the sheriff and have them be okay with it, especially for something like I'm not going to call him a liar. So, you know, if he has made those contacts, then great, and hopefully he can move forward and give a good example of our community. And, you know, and hopefully he does have educated people there explaining processes and can show it in a safe light, because that's what happens here. I mean, if you're a mixed kitchen, you pay a lot of money, and you work really hard to be able to produce these concentrates here in the state of Colorado. And I know this firsthand, you know, because we're in the process of possibly even transitioning right now. And it's a crazy, crazy industry, and it's very expensive, and it's very time-consuming, and if you don't position yourself the right way, it's very hard to survive.
Right.
And, you know, if we had been making crappy hash like these people were telling them, we wouldn't have been around for 2 years. Because, you know what? We don't have a grow. We live off of making great hash for other people. And the people we make hash for know that it's amazing. And their patients know that it's amazing. And that's what matters for us. And then the best part about all that is that we can take that amazing hash and turn it into amazing edibles for all those people that need it for their serious pain issues and for their serious, you know, physical issues that require significant amounts of edibles. So,
Right.
you know, like I said, I'm just happy to squash it and move forward. And, you know, I appreciate you guys trying to sort of bring us together. And, I just really want to look forward, not only for us both as companies, but for us as a community as a whole. Because there's a place for these recreational events. There's a place for my medical events. There's a place for all kinds of events in this community. But when it starts to become something about us, there's no place for that.
Right.
You know, because that's not what it's about. It's about community. It's about bringing people together.
Yes,
and that's what I've always, you know, professed, and it's not going to change today, and it's not going to change 10 years from now.
Amen, brother. Amen. And on that note, AJ, I'm going to let you get to work. I'm going to let my listeners go because I got to load up for the midday burn. Breakfast bowl went over, baby.
Right? You took it right through to the midday.
Yes, we did.
All right, guys. Yeah, like I said, much love, and, you know, looking forward to moving on. So I appreciate you guys, you know, sort of stepping up and being moderators here.
Thank you very much. And we'll see you definitely for Thanksgiving.
Hell yeah,
I think
buddy.
I'm going to make some medicated burritos.
Hell yeah. Well, and if anyone wants to be a part of that, you know, feel free to contact us directly. You know, make some medicated mashed potatoes, make some non-medicated mashed potatoes, make a turkey for us, whatever they want to do to give back to the community, because that's what the meet and greets are all about, is building and giving back to community.
That's what's up. So have a good day. Make sure we keep you informed about Thanksgiving. We'll make you informed about the X Cup. All great information right here. SOS, everyone. I'm going to sign out as AJ signing out. Y'all have a great day. Great day. Do something for someone other than your goddamn self. SOS. Smoke one, son.